final in junior Rotax, and it's Josh Feng leading at the moment in kart number 48. The novice there, denoted of course by the black number board, is ahead of Zach Sidney in the number 55, so that's one position gained for Sidney for the Maxim team in the blue and white colours there. Molly Meisen as well has had a good start, is up to third place. Here's a battle for fourth on your screens for a moment there between Archie Lamb and Omar Kayani. Henry Duncan in this race as well. Exton Cook and Jack Corser. Those are your 8 runners down into the Wilkins complex then for the second time in this race. And it's 1, 2, 3 at the front of the field. At the moment, this will be pretty good for these drivers to proceed onwards to the full final grid of 34 from the junior Rotax category here today. Is always a spin. We'll come back to that, because who was that going round in the background? It was the number 38 of Omar Kayani, and unfortunately for Omar, that is a spin from the top 4. That is where we're expecting drivers to be if they want to proceed on through to the A final later on today. We've also had a change for the lead at the very front. It looks like the number 55, yes, of Zach Sidney has got through, taken the lead of this race from the 48 of Josh Feng. Feng racing for the Vantage Racing team here this weekend for the 2025 edition of the Shenington SuperPrix. Molly Meisen having a little look there at trying to go through into second place, but unfortunately for Molly, didn't quite work on that occasion. Bit of a switchback being looked at there by Feng through the Stratford hairpin. Plenty of overtaking opportunities given to drivers around this Shenington circuit. If you are not familiar with it, it's one of the grand old ladies of British karting in terms of circuits. Been racing here since the late 1950s, all the way through the decades, as we have just enjoyed some of the machinery across those decades in the Historics demonstration. Mizzen having another look there for second place down the inside of Feng. Nothing doing that time around. Wide line there for Zach Sidney, trying to find the grip available to the drivers. Bit of a switchback once again from Josh Feng. Josh Feng looking very strong down into the Stratford hairpin and may have a move for the lead here. A little bit of spray being kicked up there. Good positioning into the Bruno chicane by Zach Sidney. Knew that there'd be some more grip around that outside line. And despite Josh Feng at this stage of the race looking a little bit quicker, very, very tricky to overtake round this circuit at the moment with the grip conditions. Again, Feng getting alongside Sidney, but not able to get fully ahead. Did have his nose ahead over the start-finish line there as we get into the second half of this race on time. This is a very entertaining scrap, I must say so, between Sidney, Feng and Mizzen. Down into the Stratford hairpin once again. It's been a change for 6th place that we'll report on. Exton Cook, another one of our novices in this category here this weekend, has got past Henry Duncan. That is for 6th place. And some good progress there from Exton Cook. Cook, who qualified 33rd through timed qualifying yesterday, so would have hoped to maybe hold that position and get through to the A final. At the moment, that's looking a little bit beyond reach. Keeping an eye on what the track's doing as well, as this 1, 2, 3 continue to hold station. Sidney from Feng from Mizzen. Track is getting drier. 46.07 is a new fastest lap of the race so far, set by Jack Corser in 5th place. Jack Corser, if I've got my information correct, is on one of the air karts here this weekend. It's outside of the top 34 after time qualifying earlier on this weekend. Had a good drive in the heats yesterday, though, up into the top 25. And in fact, is now up to 4th place. So that's quite a key move further down the order. The navy blue and white air kart there, kart number 47. You can see how much Jack Corser is fighting that machine there. Omar Kayani unfortunately is slipped down to 8th place. Actually, he's got some good pace at the moment, though, as Kayani. 46.37 last time around. 2 minutes remaining on the clock here in this B final for the Junior Max category. At the moment on balance, you would say Sydney, Feng, Mizzen, they're looking good to go through, but Jack Corser could be closing in here in the latter stages. Here on your screens, just heading into the Wilkins complex now, is the battle for 7th place. This is Henry Duncan in the number 81. Omar Kayani trying to recover after that spin a few laps ago. You can see how much the... Oh, it's off. It's the number 17. Exton Cook has had a problem. Now, was that down on the approach to Wilkins? Yes, it was down in the 3rd sector. So a battle between Duncan and Kayani now becomes the one for 6th place. Meanwhile, back at the front of the order. Still unchanged, but actually no, it has changed. Mizzen has got through, so Molly Mizzen now up to 2nd place in this race. That's good progress from the driver there in the number 11. Through and down towards the Stratford corner once again. On the brakes. And in fact, it's Feng who's gone through. So yeah, Feng has gone through ahead of Mizzen, but Mizzen's now going to have a go for the race lead into the Bruno chicane. That's brilliantly done by Molly Mizzen. So another new race leader as this race, this B final, comes to a close. There's going to be 2 more laps of this one. Back down the inside looks Feng. And once again, this is all good if you're Jack Corser, because Corser is closing in and is the fastest driver on circuit. Feng, again, has a run around the outside of Zach Sidney there. Catches a bit of a wet patch there, but recovers well, does the driver in 2nd place. Down towards the Stratford hairpin for the penultimate time. Contact warning has come out for the number 48. That is, of course, Josh Feng. Is also under investigation, I should note, as well. So, of course, any results at the end of this race will be provisional. But we have seen that on the race control notes in the comms box, that the number 48 of Josh Feng has arisen the attention of the race officials. Time is up. Last lap board is out. Molly Mizzen looking to win this B final. It's been a very controlled drive from Molly so far in this race. It's this 1, 2, 3, 4. Looking pretty good for strong results in this B final. But down the inside, that's a nice move from Zach Sidney. Is there enough grip on the exit of Stratford corner? No, there isn't. So back through goes Feng. That should be the race done for Mizzen. A good gap now behind the number 11. Jack Corser, I think, is just going to run out of corners here to overtake and improve from this 4th place. But out of the final corner, from the 2nd row of the grid, Molly Mizzen is going to win the first final of the day. Takes the B final in Junior Max from Josh Feng, Zach Sidney and Jack Corser. Those are your top 4. Archie Lamb comes home in 5th place. And then Omar Kayani recovers back to 6th place ahead of Henry Duncan. Exton Cook has already taken the checkered flag, will be classified in 8th place on the provisional result. Unfortunately, with that problem down in the latter stages of the lap, fell off the lead lap. But an entertaining race there for Junior Max to get going in their B final. Their A final will, of course, be up later on. But we move away now from the junior categories and towards some of our youngest drivers here today. Next up, it's the Micro Rotax category and Honda Cadet 200. So, time for 2 races for the price of 1. It's our cadet categories out on circuit for the Rotax Racing Ladder, Micromax, of course, and Honda Cadet GX200. Both of these classes have run through a set of 2 heats earlier on this weekend, and of course timed qualifying yesterday here at Shenington for the 2025 Shenington SuperPrix. Let's have a little run through the grid then for this next race number 26 on your schedules. Of course, we'll be keeping across both of the categories here in this one. We're going to go around again for at least one more formation lap. The false flag is out, so I think we can bring the grid graphic for you to take you through the 13 drivers set to go in this one. Otto Amy starts on pole position. Dimitar Uzunov on double duty here this weekend alongside on the front row. Ollie Brunt and the first of the novices in Micromax, Will Hatton. That's your second row of the grid. Raith Owen and Arthur Kaiser, that's your third row before Isaac Garth completes the runners. Charlie Buncombe and Isaac Garth complete the runners in Micromax. Into the Honda category. So these are the drivers, of course, with the red numbers on the yellow boards. Nikita Roberts has class pole position and is on row 5. Ben Bowers, Alistair Saunders, Austin Dowell, Eloisa Burlington and Aurora Joel complete the 14 drivers who will be on the grids for this one. And although I do know the number 77 of Otto Amy is at the back of the field, I wasn't quite expecting that on this occasion. I think we're going to go around again for another formation lap. And this race meeting, of course, this afternoon, part of the club season here for... Oh, now there's been an incident out of the first couple of corners. 2 karts involved, both of them in the micro max category, so we may have a further delay here. And I think one of them is the number 99 of Ollie Brunt, and just trying to make out the other kart involved. It is the 1-3-13 of Isaac Garth, and the red flag has come out. Now, that must have been a sizable impact there for the 99. Well, actually for the 13. It's the 13 that's missing the front fairing, I think. As I say, this is just outside of Pitts Bend, so the race had not started. So no count back required at this stage. All of the races from now on are 10 minutes plus 1 lap. I'm glad to report that both drivers involved are up and out of their karts. You can see that Isaac has just stood over to the driver's right hand side, or now sat just on the tyre wall, just having a little bit of a chat just with our hard-working marshals team here at Shenington. And then, yeah, just trying to look out as well to confirm. I think it is the 99 that was also involved. Just making sure that we're not confusing 99 with 77 with my eyesight at the moment. But yes, now that would be a real shame if we've lost 2 of our drivers in the micro cadet category at this stage. Of course, all of these races will have plenty of prizes. One of the great things about this Shenington SuperPrix, that it not just being a very coveted race and a historic race, plenty of editions of this done previously, but a big thanks to all of the sponsors and the partners and the backers for their assistance. Many of the prizes that we'll be seeing here at the circuit for the prize giving and the podium ceremonies later on this afternoon into the evening, provided by members of the karting community. You can just see on the grid, the drivers have all come to a halt, with the Honda Cadet grid just in the background there. So yeah, you can see the number 77 of Otto Amy on the front of the grid Not quite sure what happened to Otto, because Otto was towards the rear of the field on that previous formation lap. So this might be a little bit of luck for Otto in that regard. Otto's had a decent season so far. He's had a decent weekend. Has won both of the heats so far in this category. And you can also see the number 62 of Dimitar Uzanov for the JPD team on the left-hand side of your screen. Two drivers have been competing at a national level as well. Plenty of races up this afternoon. Got around 240 drivers in total across around 11 categories here at the circuit. Well, 12 in total, because of course this race has got two categories within the same race session. But it will actually give a little bit of a rundown of the order for today. If you're not at the circuit, so I say we'll get this Micromax and Honda Cadet final underway in the not too distant future. The Minimax, the intercategory, will follow this. KZ2 will be our third A final of the day. That's when we'll switch over to the gearbox layout of the circuit, of course, the 1.2 kilometre layout here at Shenington. 210 National after that. Then we switch back to the direct drive circuit for the single gear categories. Miami Water Swift Restricted, Formula Libre. That's going to be a good race later on this afternoon, the Formula Libre category. Junior Rotax, followed by Senior Rotax. Then we switch once again over to the Miami categories to take us through to the end of the day. Miami Water Swift, X30 Junior and then X30 Senior. Timetable is provisional because it's been really, really tough conditions here today. We are currently at 2:15, so we are a little bit behind the originally published timetable. But as I say, that is due to the conditions here this afternoon. We mentioned earlier as well the prizes on offer for all of the categories. Big thanks to Vega Tyres and Jag Rotax for their support of the Micro Rotax category. Vega Tyres voucher with Vera Tools as well will go to the winner of this race, and a £100 Jag voucher as well, plus another tyre voucher for second place, and then a Rotax Kart cover and another tyre voucher for some Vegas go to third place in this race. In terms of Honda Cadet, they're being backed by, of course, John Mills Engineering this year, and another flurry of Vega tyre vouchers available for the top three, and for the Mira Tools support of the event here today as well. So if you're just joining us, don't worry, you've not missed any competitive action here for this Honda Cadet 200 and Rotax Micro Cadet final. We did have a moment on one of the formation laps involving the number 13 of Isaac Garth and the 99 of Ollie Brunt. You can see both of those karts. Well, I assume they have been recovered because they're not outside of our commentary box window anymore. We've not talked too much about Honda Cadet and how they've got on so far this weekend. We mentioned, of course, Otto Amy with the results for Otto earlier on in the race meeting with the two heat wins. In terms of the Hondas, it's been a good weekend so far, of course, for Nikita Roberts, 7th and 8th overall in these multi-class races. Hence pole position in class for Nikita Roberts. Ben Burrs, 8th and 10th as well. But of course that's with all of the Micromax runners ahead, virtue of how these races are run. So formation laps are back underway, and the drivers will look to get heat into their tyres. Track conditions improving at the moment here at Shenington. Still a few damp patches here or there, but it is significantly drier than it was even an hour ago when we had another quite heavy shower of rain fall through the circuit. We had some very, very heavy rain earlier on this morning for the start of the last round of heats. Into the tram lines then. Do we go green this time? Yes, we do. So 10 minutes plus 1 lap underway for the first time in an A final for the 2025 Shenington SuperPrix, and it's a good start for Otto Amy. The Honda cadets head through the tram lines as well to get their race underway. It's similarly a good start for the number 63 of Nikita Roberts. Micromax runners heading into the Bruno chicane for the first time, whilst the Honda cadets head down to the Stratford hairpin for their first major braking test through this race. Back with the Micromax runners heading towards the Wilkins complex. Who's going to lead at the end of this first lap? Otto Amy in that number 77 machine. It's got Dimitar Uzanov for company immediately behind. And holding in third place at the moment, it is the number 31. Impressive run so far for Will Hatton. First of the novices racing for the JG Motorsport team. Change for second place in Honda Cadet. Alistair Saunders has got through past Ben Bowers. So at the moment it's Amy, Uzanov, Hatton, Owen, Kaiser and Buncombe, the top 6 in the Rotax category. And it's 6 as well for the Hondas. Roberts, Saunders, Bowers, Dowell, Joel and Burlington completing the order at this precise moment. 8 1/4 minutes to go. Potential change of position here in Honda Cadet, as the number 27 there of Ben Bowers just holds off Austin Dowell on that run through the Wilkins complex. This is for third in Honda Cadet, just coming over the line now. Back up the inside goes Dowell. Bowers is going to have the advantage for Cafe Corner though, but again those wet patches through well, on normal conditions, a very tricky part of the course, but even more so with the weather that we've had here today. But Ben Bowers has held on to that race lead at the moment. Sorry, that lead for third place from Austin Dowell. No changes at the moment in the top 6 in Micromax. Their leader's just heading through Cafe Corner and down towards Stratford once again at this moment. Closest battle on circuit remains this one between Ben Bowers and Austin Dowell. Dowell's now got a better run down the inside. This may be the move for third place in Honda Cadet. Yes, it is. Good stuff there from Austin Dowell. Moves his privateer number 47 up onto the podium in class as things stand. Meanwhile, other side of the circuit, Otto Amy and Dimitar Uzanov haven't fully leapt into life in terms of battles so far. I think they know that there is a bit of a job to be done here in these early stages, which is build that gap to Will Hatton as much as they can. The gap is just under 2.5 seconds at the moment. There's been a change for fourth place that we should note. Arthur Kaiser has got past Wraith Owen for that position. So that's the number 19 now ahead of the 21. In fact, it is a 3-kart battle for third place at the moment. Will Hatton at the front of it. You can see him there in the yellow and purple replica Lewis Hamilton Bell helmet. Arthur Kaiser looking pretty keen. Oh, now there's a spin there. It is the number 25 of Eloisa Burlington. So Eloisa has unfortunately gone round there, but rejoined the race. Aurora Joel moves up to 11th place and 5th within Honda Cadet. 5.5 minutes to go then. New fastest lap of the race has just gone in from Dimitar Uzanov, 50.96. He's enjoying just sitting in the toe of Otto Amy at the moment. Heading towards the Bruno chicane. Very important sequence of corners. That long run towards Hanger and then into Wilkins. Fairly big braking zone. Overtake's possible, but not necessarily the easiest place around this circuit to overtake. That's well covered by Otto Amy through Wilkins. And another lap completed by the race leaders, and another new fastest lap of the race as well from Dimitar Uzanov. Meanwhile, battle for third place. Arthur Kaiser having a little look into the first corner. Not able to break through at that moment. Amy and Uzanov starting to battle as well. That's a little bit earlier than I would have expected these two to go back and forth. And yes, Otto Amy has a little point forward to say, let's keep working together. Let's not diminish our gap. Still with over 4 minutes of this race to go. That gap is now up to 4.3 seconds. The leaders head towards Wilkins Corner once again. No changes in Honda Cadet. Still Nikita Roberts ahead of Alistair Saunders and Austin Dowell, the 1, 2, 3 within Honda Cadet. New personal best has just gone in from Charlie Buncombe, a novice driver. Buncombe, of course, a name very familiar to those in British motorsports. Charlie Buncombe, the son of very experienced sports car racer Alex, and well, Charlie's just set a 52.40, which is the best lap time that we've seen from Charlie so far in this race. It's good to see. Meanwhile, out of the Bruno chicane, still that 1-2 formation of Amy and Uzanov. Uzanov has been doing a lot of recent racing. And as I say, today is racing in 2 categories. Has been competing as well in the British Championships the last couple of weekends. It is a very, very busy part of the season. 3 minutes remaining on the clock. Change for 11th place and 5th in Honda Cadet. Burlington has got, again, back ahead of Joel, so he's recovering after the earlier spin. We could have a change here for 3rd place in Micromax. Is that Kaiser down the inside? Yes, it is. So Kaiser goes through into 3rd place, and looks like Owen has followed also into 4th. Will Hatton has to rebuild now from 5th place. Will Hatton, who been 4th through both of the heats so far this weekend. One of them yesterday afternoon, another one of them earlier on this morning, and it looks like Will Hatton, for a moment was back into that 4th place, but Rafe Owen has got back into it, and that's actually given Arthur Kaiser a bit of a gap. Shenington, a circuit all about momentum, but it can also be a circuit that's difficult to break away from. If you've got 2 drivers chasing you behind, you can often lose a gap that you've got over them if you're on your own. There's a really good scrap going on for the race lead though. Dimitar Uzanov putting Otto Amy on a lot of pressure here, wanting to take this race lead, now starting to sense that we're getting into the latter stages of this final. Just over 1.5 minutes remaining. Otto Amy at the moment resisting the pressure from the JPD UK driver. That's some good pace as well from Otto Amy. 50.80 2 laps ago, a new fastest lap of the race. And good pace as well from Will Hatton, who's just set a personal best so far in this one, so still got a good chance of a podium. Change to note in Honda Cadet. Alistair Saunders has got through past Nikita Roberts, so we could see a bit of a grandstand finish in Honda Cadet. The gap between them is only 0.3 of a second or there or thereabouts, so Saunders in the number 58 now back ahead of Roberts in the 63. Those drivers, I think, are just about heading through the Bruno chicane now. Yes, they are. So 30 seconds remaining on the clock. Time will expire on this tour of the circuit for Amy and Uzanov. And Amy again, initially going defensive. Uzanov with a switch back there. Oh, that's lovely from Dimitar Uzanov, but here comes Amy again. This is where the race well and truly begins now for these two. The blue flags are out as well for the number 25 of Eloisa Burlington in the Honda Cadet category. So this is real pressure now for Otto Amy to deal with. Not only traffic, but also Dimitar Uzanov, who's made an attempt to overtake, but not quite able to pull it off. Final lap board will be out this time around. Alistair Saunders is breaking away from Nikita Roberts, by the way. The gap is up to 3/4 of a second. Who are we going to see as our first A final winner of this 2025 Shenington SuperPrix? Gotta think it's going to be one of these two drivers in the Micromax category. That's good speed for Otto Amy into the Stratford hairpin. This time not having to deal with an attack from Dimitar Uzanov. Uzanov surely will have at least one more go before the end of this race. Down in towards Wilkins. Amy's got to stay tight. Uzanov trying to find a way through, but he's not going to be able to do so. Will draw alongside though. Amy will surely have the inside line. Oh, they get very close there. Off of the final corner. Otto Amy wins in Rotax Micro Cadet. Wins the final from Dimitar Uzanov. It's going to be third place for Arthur Kaiser. Wraith Owen very happy with fourth place on the line as well. Will Hatton fifth. Charlie Buncombe will come home in sixth place. And a great drive from all six. We've also, of course, got Honda Cadet coming over the line soon. And it's Alistair Saunders who takes the race victory within the Honda Cadet class. And a really good drive in the latter stages there. Got past Nikita Roberts and then pulled a 2.3 second advantage over Roberts. Austin Dowell will be in the top three as well for Honda Cadet. Ben Bowers in fourth. And a good battle as well for fifth place in Honda Cadet. In the end is won out by the single novice in the Honda Cadet GX200 category there. Eloisa Burlington finishes ahead of Aurora Joel. And of course we shouldn't forget as well about the two non-starters in that race. Isaac Garth and Ollie Brunt. They have had good weekends through the heats, but that misfortune in the final. More racing to come here at Shenington. Let's move on then to the next race. It's the intercategory for Rotax. So let's take you through the grid then for Intermax and their 2025 Shenington SuperPrix final. Maximilian Aberhart has pole position, is joined by Benjamin Lord on the front row. James Roots and Oscar Roach go from row 2. It's Stanley Stafford and Achille Giannone on row 3. Archie Lee Bullock and Oscar Delineat start on row 4. Finn Davenport and Noah Hammond on row 5. Toby Wortley and Aidan Hammond go from 6. Lewis Herbertson, Layla Bell, Jack Hilson and others complete big field here in Rotax Inter. It's a false start, so we'll go round again for one more formation lap, and that gives us enough opportunity to go through the full grid this time around. So as noted, Aberhart and Lawn on the front row, Roots and Roach row 2, Stafford and Giannone row 3, Bullock and Delineat, the top novice we should note there for the number 99, are on row 4. Davenport and Hammond row 5. Wortley and Hammond row 6. Lewis Herbertson and Layla Bell on row 7. Jackson Hilton and Alex Tonchinskis on row 8. Ronnie Faulkner and Luca Mativecchia starts on row number 9. Isla Parsons and Bertie Clark complete the top 20 for the start of this race. Ryuma Komatsu and Will Eden go from row 11. Sandro Kemp and Harry Watson start on the 12th row of the grid. Then Sebastian Mittel, Liam Dooling, Toby Miles, Noah Hobson, Finley Rhodes, Seiki Komatsu, Brian Hui and Robin Ashton completing the 32 runners here in the Minimax, the Rotax Inter final. This is going to be a busy one. Let's find out who's going to take victory here today. As out of the race immediately, I think Stanley Stafford was one of the drivers involved there in the number 46. I didn't quite catch who the other driver was, as there's a spin for the 28 of Seiki Komatsu. Oh, that's a real shame. Very easily done down at the Stratford hairpin on a first lap. But meanwhile, back at the front of the order, some big drivers in this one looking for SuperPrix victory. And if my eyes aren't fooling me yet, it's the number 61 of Maximilian Eberhardt at the front of the order. Very strong driver is Eberhardt, third in Micromax in the British Championships last year. He's moved up to the Inter category, 2 Minimaxes. There's an overtake. Well, Benjamin Lawn has got his overtaking shoes on today. That was a nice move on James Roots for second place. That's a beautiful sight if you are of a Coles Racing disposition. 1-2 for their colours on the road as things stand. The number 47 of James Roots now under attack from the 82 of Achille Giannone. And Giannone having a good start to this race. Another driver who's raced on the national scene many times as well. Completed 2 laps of this final. Eberhardt leads from Lawn. Giannone and Roots, 3rd and 4th. Oscar Roach, Aidan Hammond, Noah Hammond, Archie Lee Bullock, Finn Davenport and Layla Bell, all in the top 10 at the end of that second lap. There was a nice move. Looked to be the number 93 of Alex Tochinskis going through past Toby Wortley for 12th place. And who's making good early progress here? You can see towards the rear of the field, Finley Rhodes has made up 9 places so far in this race and has broken into the top 20. Meanwhile, back at the front, Benjamin Lawn has taken the race lead away from Maximilian Eberhardt. We've still got 7.5 minutes of this race to go, and this is immediately starting to build into a potential classic, because the top 4 are not breaking away here from the rest of the field. This should remain a very tight race for the length of the laps that we've got remaining. Moving up the order as well is Lewis Herbertson, number 53. Gained 2 places on that last lap. Is now up to 9th place. And keep an eye on Oscar Roach as well. There's some good pace there for the number 96 of Oscar Roach. It's just gone purple through sector number 1 in the early stages of this race. Down towards the Stratford hairpin, Benjamin Lawn leading this one at the moment from Maximilian Eberhardt. This would be a great result for Benjamin Lawn to win this race. I think it's a little bit early to be thinking of that too seriously, though, due to the proximity of Eberhardt, Giannone and Roots behind. James Roots, who's raced here many times. I remember watching James back in his Bambino racing days in championships round this circuit. Changed for 5th place as well. Aidan Hammond has got through past Oscar Roach for 5th place, and that is some very good early progress from Aidan Hammond. Started on the grid in 12th place and is already up into the top 5. 10th and 17th for Aidan Hammond so far in the heats this weekend. So that is very good progress for Aidan Hammond. It's the beauty of a final, even if you've had some tough heats, some tough moments so far this weekend. These longer races reward those who've got good race pace. Eberhardt looking keen to get through here past Benjamin Lawn. And indeed, Eberhardt goes down the inside. That's lovely stuff from Maximilian Eberhardt. Retakes the lead. 5 minutes of this race to go. New fastest lap last time around for James Roots. always intriguing how drivers even at this age, 9, 10, 11 years of age, have that ability to almost read what's happening behind them, where the pace is coming from. And for Eberhard there, I think that was very much one of those moves of just wanted to be a bit more comfortable, wants to be in more control, get back into the lead of this race and not be shuffled too far down the pack. Just the one category in this one, being sponsored by Jag Rotax and the M Sport karting racing team. Once again, sets of tyres, kart covers and Vera tools, all on offer for the top 3 in this one. I've got to say, right now, you'd be a very, very brave individual to guess confidently who those top 3 are going to be. Still got this small breakaway of 4, and I say small because of the gap behind them. They're not galloping away from Aidan Hammond. And some moves further down the order as well, as there's a change for second place. Giannone through past Benjamin Lawn. That was a nice overtake by Giannone through into Wilkins. And back to that the progress further down the order. Lewis Herbertson is now up to 7th place. He's got past Noah Hammond. Jackson Hilton also on the move, up 5 places from where the number 45 started. He's now into the top 10. Oh, it's very close there. Off of the Stratford hairpin. Layla Bell in the number 33 on the outside line, exiting the one of the biggest braking zones. And here's another braking zone, and it's Giannone's corner. Giannone takes the race lead very confidently indeed. So 2 laps in a row that Giannone has moved through. Could this be a bit of a key move in this race? There's a battle between the Coles Racing drivers as well. Eberhard back through ahead of Lorne, and now down the inside here comes the first of the global karting entries, but it's not James Roots, it's Aidan Hammond. So Aidan Hammond now up into 3rd place. Everything changes on the podium in a moment's notice, and look at the others now getting involved behind. The number 96 of Oscar Roach is not too far away. Benjamin Lawn looking down the inside of James Roots. Gets back into 4th place there. So all change. Giannone leading this one by 1/4 of a second. Eberhard there in 2nd place. Aidan Hammond has now gained 9 places. I like the look of the pace of that number 50. Conditions continuing to dry out here as we have a look a little further back. That's Oscar Roach having a think about overtaking James Roots for 5th place. Contact warning comes in for the number 37 of Liam Dooling. Have been a couple of other contact warnings as well. Harry Watson, Giannone and Noah Hammond all at the moment have received the warning flag. No in race time penalties though. That's just something to make them aware of what they need to do through the remaining stages of this race. We're going to get some traffic coming into play here as the race leaders head down into the Stratford hairpin once again. We're on lap number 12. Just a minute of this race to go. I say for the back marker, this could be quite an important part of the race. It's the number 28 that's just in front of the leaders at the moment. That's Seiki Komatsu, who we saw have a problem early on in the race. Komatsu has done well there. Not got in the way of the race leaders. Kept this race running, kept this race fair. 2 laps to go then. Can Achille Giannone take one of the biggest victories in their racing career? Down into the Stratford hairpin. There's a move, not for race position. It's James Roots going past the back marker, but here goes Eberhard down the inside, takes the race lead. Great stuff from Maximilian Eberhard, using all of the experience that Eberhard has gathered over the years. has raced up through the levels, but here goes Giannone back down the inside. Oh, and Hammond comes in as well. Aidan Hammond sideways did very, very well to get that global karting machine stopped, and it's still going to go for second place here on Aberhart. Benjamin Lawn looks to get involved as well. Aberhart retains this second place. This is great news for Giannone, because Giannone's moving away now, is able to tick off these corners, not having to worry about defending this lead, because it's all going on for second place. Roots and Roach aren't out of this either. That was a very good run though out of the Stratford hairpin for Aberhart. Giannone has been very good so far into this next corner. 3 overtakes done so far in this race, but on the last lap it's all about defence, and there's a very close moment between, and Aberhart's through. Aberhart goes through. Giannone's not happy about it at all. Maximilian Aberhart takes the checkered flag, takes the win in the Rotax Inter category by 0.18 of a second. Plenty of battles going on through the field, but it's Aberhart who will be on top in the Minimax category. Giannone second, Hammond third, fourth for Benjamin Lawn, fifth for James Roots, Oscar Roach, Noah Hammond, Jackson Hilton, Finn Davenport, Archie Lee Bullock, all in the top 10. Lewis Herbertson, Ronnie Faulkner, Alex Tuchinskis in 13th ahead of Toby Wortley. Some really good drives there in the top 15 completed by Layla Bell. Luca Mativakia in 16th ahead of Sandro Kemp. Ryuma Komatsu in 18th ahead of Noah Hobson, and Bertie Clark completing the top 20. Isla Parsons, Will Eden, Brian Hree, Harry Watson and Finley Rhodes all came home in the top 25 ahead of Liam Dooling, Robin Ashton in 27th place. Rounding out the rest of the runners in this one, Toby Miles, Sebastian Mittel, Oscar Delinietz, Seiki Komatsu and Stanley Stafford. We've got to move on though from the Rotax categories. We get ready for one of the loudest categories and most dramatic races that we've got in store here this afternoon at Shenington. KZ2 Final is next. So KZ2 out on circuit for the first of the gearbox category races here this afternoon, and this promises to be a big one. Racing of course for the E-plate, and our E-plate defender has pole position for this race. Ella Stevens came through the 2 rounds of qualifying heats earlier on in the weekend and timed qualifying as the driver to beat. She's been having a very, very strong season so far in KZ2, and will go into this race as the favourite, but she's not been undefeated so far. That win on the road for Charlie Cole earlier on today means that Jade Racing Team have a lockout of the front row. Daryl Henderson and Jessica Edgar have had good pace so far this weekend as well, so look out for them on the second row of the grid. Kai Springfield and Tyler Harris, they will form up 5th and 6th on the grid ahead of Mark Keane, Tom Taylor, Hugo Hines and Neil Hepworth. 10 drivers in total for the KZ2 final. Our drivers also racing for some big prizes here this afternoon. As I say, this is where we switch over to the 1.2 kilometre layout. It'll be the long run down towards Stratford Corner. Here we go then, eyes on the lights, and away we go then for the E-plate race for 2025. And it is a very good start from the outside of row number 1 for Charlie Cole. Ella Stevens did not get a good getaway there and has dropped to 4th place in the early stages of this race. There go the race leaders. It's down into the Stratford hairpin. That was a dramatic moment there. Now was that cold tyres. Jessica Edgar has dropped down to 5th place. but that looked very, very close and a little bit uncomfortable through the Stratford corner for the first time here in KZ2. And Daryl Henderson has taken the lead of this race in kart number 51, but Henderson now goes a little bit deep. Oh, and they've got together. Henderson and Cole get together there, and Ella Stevens, well, what a dramatic first lap there for Ella Stevens. Didn't get the breakaway from pole position, dropped to 4th place, but at the end of lap 1, it's the reigning E-plate holder who finds herself in the lead of this 2025 edition of the Shenington SuperPrix. Tyler Harris is up to 2nd place. Got to say, well, it's the thing, isn't it, that down there at the gearbox version of the Stratford corner, we haven't had karts running around that part of the circuit for the last few races. It is definitely a little bit greasy in that part of the circuit, and the drivers are struggling with it indeed. 8.5 minutes of the race to go. Stevens leads by 0.9 of a second from Tyler Harris. Charlie Cole, very quick drive around this circuit, is there in 3rd. Henderson back up to 4th ahead of Jessica Edgar. Tom Taylor holding in 6th. A bit of a reminder and a public announcement for those at the circuit. We'll of course have our trophy presentations here later on today, and prizes as well for those on the podium, and the fastest lap awards. And on top of that, we've got our special awards as well. One of them will be in this category for KZ Driver of the Day. A trophy from that from the family of Stephen Coward, of course. Jill Wixon Award for Junior Driver of the Day, and the Senior Driver of the Day trophies. All of those will be presented later on this evening. Bit of a note as well to remember to wear the caps from the bags for all of your photos, and of course those E-plate presentations and IWF tickets. If you hadn't established already, there are a lot of prizes on the store here in store this afternoon for the Shenington SuperPrix. Meanwhile, battle for 2nd place. Through goes Charlie Cole past Tyler Harris for 2nd place at the moment on the podium. Tyler Harris has held on to 3rd place at the moment, but not until that moment. Daryl Henderson through and back up into the top 3. That was a dramatic overtake, a brave overtake through Hanger Corner. Tyler Harris trying to hold on a moment. Jess Edgar now trying to find her way through into 4th place. Jess Edgar, another of the Jade Racing team drivers who's had a busy season so far, doing a full British Championship campaign, and that's nice. Edgar down the inside, retakes 4th place away from Tyler Harris, and now sets about trying to close in and find a way back onto the podium. So the race getting into its rhythm now. 6.25 minutes of this race to go. This race backed by the Jade Karts organisation. They're very well represented in this race at the moment. Stevens from Cole. Henderson at the moment also there in the top 3. Just looking a little bit further down the order, I've got a couple of novices in this race. Mark Keane and Neil Hepworth both just set their best lap times of the final so far. A 47.48 for Keane, a 47.75 for Hepworth. Back with the battle for 2nd place though. Charlie Cole has got some attention here from Daryl Henderson. Looking a bit of a tall order to close in on Ella Stevens. Ella Stevens is properly into her stride now. For anyone who's watched Ella race across the course of the last 18 months or so, they know that once the start is out of the way, sometimes is Ella's Achilles heel, but once we get into the middle of the race and the latter stages, she gets quicker and quicker and quicker. The gap is now 4 seconds. And Stevens has set the fastest lap of the race last time around to very much add to that theory of how Stevens progresses through a race of 45.26. Meanwhile, these two drivers are in the 45.7s. It's still a very close race, this, for 2nd place between Cole and Henderson. At the moment, if they were to go wheel to wheel, I think they'd be bringing Jess Edgar back into play. Because Jess Edgar's pace is good in this this middle part of the race. 45.39 last time around, and Edgar, without a major tow, was fastest in sector 3 and has just gone fastest of anyone through sector number 1. So let's keep an eye on Jess Edgar. There's a problem out of Cafe Corner to report. Unfortunately, it's Tom Taylor in the number 77 has come to a halt on driver's right. Is perfectly okay, is clambered out of the kart, but it looks to be a mechanical issue that has brought Tom Taylor's 2025 Shenington SuperPrix sadly to an early end. Tom, who does a lot of the race prep and the engineering on his machinery, is a very experienced driver. Nods to the marshal to say, yeah, back to the marshal post. Unfortunately, that is the day done for the number 77. Was running in 7th place. So Mark Keane, Neil Hepworth and Hugo Haynes will be promoted. Well, Haynes has dropped down the order as well. So Keane and Hepworth now up into the top 8 are 2 novices there. And in fact, yeah, I can see out of the commentary box window that Hugo Haynes is in fact retiring from this race. So sadly for Hugo Haynes, that is another driver whose final ends a few minutes early. For Ella Stevens, though, this is a very, very strong performance. When she won this E-Plate race 12 months ago, really, really was a bit of a breakthrough performance. The promise had been there throughout the course of the 2024 KZ2 season. It was really here last July where it started to all come together. And since then, she's only got stronger and stronger. Isn't leading the British Championship standings at the moment, but is very well positioned as that season comes to a close later on in the summer. Right now, though, defending this E-Plate is the priority for one of Jade Racing Team's finest talents. 2.25 minutes to go. 5.1 seconds is the advantage for Stevens over Cole. Charlie Cole looks to have the measure at the moment over Daryl Henderson. That gap is now up to just over a second, and it's another second back to Jessica Edgar, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Meanwhile, battle of the novices just coming through past Cafe Corner now, past the new grandstand there. Mark Keane ahead of Neil Hepworth. It's been great to see new drivers coming into KZ2 so far this season. A real test of a driver's skills. Also a very rewarding category within which for a driver to improve, get faster and faster. At the moment, the pace for Keane and Hepworth, both of them in the 47.3s. A very respectable pace. Say within 2.5 seconds of a driver we know has been on very good form. He's very experienced in this set of machinery here within the UK gearbox karting scene. Stevens pushing on as well. A little bit of a drift there through Hanger Corner. 50 seconds remaining in this race. So I reckon we'll have 3 more laps here. It's the lap times for the leaders at the moment in the 45, so there should be 4 or 5 seconds on the clock when Ella Stevens next files round. With the changes in position, still Stevens leading from Cole, Henderson, Edgar, Harris, Kai Springfield in 6th place, having a quiet race, but has again just set a personal best last time around, 46.18. Charlie Cole is being closed in on a little bit there by Daryl Henderson. Gap less than a second once again. As Stevens completes lap number 13 and is very much within her rhythm right now. This is what she has become very, very good at. Not just getting this good pace, but holding the pace towards the end of races. Clouds in the background look a little bit ominous, but I don't think it's going to be any problems for our KZ2 drivers here. Ella Stevens into the Bruno chicane. Still a great scrap going on for 7th place here, just going over the start line now. Mark Keane and Neil Hepworth. Hepworth trying to find a way through, trying to get Keane off of the racing line. Last lap board is out then for Ella Stevens. Well, Ella Stevens didn't have everything her own way earlier on this morning in the heats. Didn't have everything her own way at the very start of this race. But those key moments later on lap 1 unleashed the speed of the reigning E-plate holder. And in a few moments' time, surely Ella Stevens is going to become a back-to-back E-plate winner here at the Shenington SuperPrix. She exits the Bruno chicane. Couple more corners to go. Full commitment once again down into the Wilkins complex. Out of the final corner, Ella Stevens once again is the E-plate holder. She takes race victory. Back-to-back race victories, 2024 and now 2025. Shenington SuperPrix KZ2 winner. And she will proudly hold on to that E-plate in KZ2 for another 12 months. Charlie Cole comes home in 2nd place. Is on the podium once again, as Charlie was here last year. And a good drive as well, holding off Daryl Henderson, who moves up to 3rd place. Really, really good result there for Henderson. Jessica Edgar, fortunately just off the podium here today. She'll think back to that first lap and what happened down at the Stratford hairpin. Tyler Harris, 5th. Kai Springfield in 6th. And then Neil Hepworth did get through at the last moment there, ahead of Mark Keane, 7th on the road, 1st of the novices. Hugo Haynes and Tom Taylor, unfortunately, retired in the middle part of that race. But good stuff there from Ella Stevens, Charlie Cole and Daryl Henderson. They'll be at the presentation ceremony later on this evening. For now, though, we stick with the gearbox categories. Next up, 210 National. So we turn our attention to one of the loudest categories here this weekend for the Shenington SuperPrix. It is, of course, 210 National. Great to have them back here once again. This, of course, acts as a round of the 210 Challenge for 2025. Here's your grid. Lee Plain is on pole position. Dan Berry, the reigning national champion, alongside on the front row. Lionel Seifleet and Russell Hopes go from row number 2. It's Thomas Stone and the O-plate holder, Robert Perkins, on row number 3. Row 4, starting 7th on the grid, is Paul Fowler and Tony Berry. Jack Perkins and Aaron Seifleet start inside the top 10. It's then Neil Hancock and Stuart Henry going from row 6. Row 7, Nathan Caddick and Mark Shepherd. Tom Perkins and Oliver Shelley start on row 8. It's John Hutton and Ray Sloan going from the 9th row of the grid, ahead of Mick Owen and David Smith. That is your top 20. William Shelley, Shane Cox and Anthony Cox form out a really good entry for 210 National here for their E-plate race. 23 drivers, and this category backed collectively by the 210 Challenge drivers. Well, this race last year was won by Dan Berry. Lionel Seifleet was your runner-up. Paul Fowler 3rd on the podium that day. And many of the drivers that we had here for 2024's Shenington SuperPrix 210 National E-plate race are back once again. A sizable amount of experience on this grid. Results so far this season: Dan Berry and Lionel Seifleet have taken wins at circuits such as Kimbolton and Rissington. Who's going to take victory here today? Track drying. I wouldn't say it's fully dry yet. There's definitely still a wet patch directly in front of me here in the commentary box overlooking Cafe Corner. But this could be a really, really spectacular race. As I say, drivers who know each other very, very well indeed,
who is going to take that red and white E-plate for 2025. Last couple of drivers forming up into their grid positions. And if you're stood trackside, get ready for the noise of 210 National here at Shenington. In the E-plate race, and it is a very Lee playing one drive. The number 27 that has not got off the start line. Apart from that, for Nathan Caddick, everybody is clear and heading down towards the Stratford hairpin gearbox style, of course. Once again on this 1.2 kilometre circuit. Oh, some real boisterous driving there in the middle of the pack. I think Stuart Henry was all out of shape there in the number 8 machine on the brakes for the first time. Heading down towards Hanger for the first tour of this circuit. Once again, this is a 10-minute plus 1 lap heat. Not a heat, we've done all of the heats earlier on this weekend. Slightly different format for these drivers. They've had 3 heats across the course of the weekend, this being the final, and also an E-plate race. Whilst all of these races count towards championship points across the 210 Challenge season, this one's a little bit different. This is one of the big ones that they have in their calendar, because if you can win this one, that E-plate, like we've just seen in KZ2, is yours for 12 months. So, early stages of this one. Oh, it's round there. Half round goes the number 48 of Tony Berry. Nearly got collected by the number 7, I think that was, of Russell Hopes. Really is a premium of grip available to the drivers down there at the bottom end of the circuit. The followers of the 210 National Series, it's a familiar sight at the front of the order. Arnold Seifleet, champion, of course, through 2019 to 2023. Lost that title in 2024 to Dan Berry, but very, very much wants to get this E-plate back, which he last won in 2023. Has been in the top 3 in each of these E-plate races since 2022. Knows how to win it. However, Lee Plain spoke to a few of the drivers earlier on today, and a lot of them were tipping Lee Plain to be the front runner, or one of the front runners in this field. Pace at the moment for the 210 Nationals, 52.00, new fastest lap of the race from Seifleet. For those maybe new to the 210 National Challenge, all of them running with the same base technology, Lillia's 9E engine. A lot of work goes into the tuning of these karts. You see a great array of different body kits as well. It's a proper engineering challenge, is the 210 National category. As, oh dear, now the number 10 has come to a stop. That's Ray Sloan. That is a long way off the circuit down at the Wilkins complex. That's a real shame for Ray. He's been in the top 10 in this race the last 2 years, but I don't think that's going to be the case here today. He's already lost a couple of laps as Ray Sloan, so that is going to be the end of competitive running for Ray Sloan. Maybe able to get back out on the circuit and continue circulating in what is at the moment 19th place. There's a change there for 7th place. Thomas Stone has got past Jack Perkins. Jack Perkins still running as the top novice though in this race at the present time. Lee Plain, kart number 11, has just got the O-plate holder behind him at the moment in terms of Robert Perkins. Dan Berry in 4th. Dan had some problems this morning. Just telling me how he started at the back of the grid for his 2nd heat, I believe. Semi missed the lights. Actually had the kind of getaway that he would have wanted, but still is unable to fight his way back through the order. At the moment, though, the pace is quite there for the reigning national champion. Robert Perkins is looking keen, though. Has got a good run there. out of Cafe Corner through Pitts Bend. Can the O-plate holder find a way through though? Not at that moment. Heading into Bruno chicane. I say there's a really big difference in some of how these karts look. You just saw the number 69 there of Shane Cox, who's got the full aero kit on his machine. This is the fight for 15th place on your screens. The number 44 of Anthony Cox and William Shelley in the number 25. And Cox gets down the inside and retakes that position. Traffic may be a bit of a challenge for our race leaders. Again, many of the front runners have been racing for a decade or more and know how to deal with these scenarios. Lionel Seifert on for a good start. 4.25 minutes of this race to go. 51.79 last time around for Seifert there. Extends the lead to 1.9 seconds. In and towards the Wilkins complex once again. There's a quick check over the shoulder. Sees at the moment, there has been a change for second place. Robert Perkins has got through past now. Where has Lee Plain gone here? Lee Plain is rather missing and I think has had a problem. Lee Plain has not come through at the end of lap number 7 and is falling down the order. The number 11 looks to be stranded out there on the circuit somewhere, still hasn't come through, has dropped down now to, well, outside the top 7. Oh, well, that would be a real shame for Lee Plain. To say I was having some really good pace earlier on in this race. I think we have indeed lost the 2022 winner of this race from what was a very strong second place. That's good news if you're a supporter of both Robert Perkins and Dan Berry. Oh, it's off the road. Goes Anthony Cox and nudges into the tyres there. Now, was that a lack of grip problem? Was that a mechanical problem with driver error? Thankfully, it wasn't a high-speed incident. Anthony got it pretty much stopped before he made any further significant contact with the scenery. But sadly, that is another driver out of the race. It's good to see Anthony's recovered the kart back out from the tyre barrier there. We had a quick sight of Tony Berry, number 48 machine a few moments ago, running in 9th place at the moment. On your screens and just coming into the Bruno chicane now is the battle for 5th place, Aaron Seifert and Thomas Stone. Both drivers who've had good results in this race previously. Stone has been in the top 5 in the last 2 editions of this race. So looking to continue that streak if we can find a way through past the number 68. Race leader working their way through some of the traffic has now lapped everybody up to David Smith there in 10th place. Clouds are continuing to gather over here at the circuit, just looking out of the window over towards the Bruno chicane. I think we are getting some reports as well of rain from our camera operatives around the circuit. The weather potentially coming in from the Stratford corner. What are the lap times looking like at the moment? They've dipped a bit into the 52s. Fastest lap at the moment from the race leader is at 51.7. I think there was a problem for Stuart Henry last time around. Stuart Henry running in 4th place, just did a 59.74. Has recovered now and it's a 55.5 that time around. So things aren't done here for the 210 national final for this E-plate race. Lionel Seifert has done a very good job so far, has a 5.6 second advantage. Russell Hope's there in the number 7, running in 8th place. this is the area of the circuit where we've had some reports of rain. It looks pretty dry down there at the moment, so hopefully it's just a little light sprinkling that won't affect the drivers as they've got their machines up to full temperature. Race leader heading in that direction now. There is Lionel Seifert, just moving past the number 29 of Mark Shepherd there. Shepherd off the lead lap already. Well, if the rain is to come, our 210 national drivers will go, wait, hold it just a minute, let us get this race finished before it decides to tip it down again. Jack Perkins has driven well in this race. There he's in the number 84, currently the top novice in this race, running in 7th place. Looking to record a top 10. There are a couple of spots of rain there on the camera lens, and there are some here on the commentary box window overlooking Cafe Corner. Fingers crossed this just holds off in terms of its intensity before the end of this race. We are on the final lap. Lionel Seifert has driven a perfect race up to now, leads by nearly 8 seconds, but it's the elements that are giving him a real challenge, giving all of these drivers a real challenge right now through the Bruno chicane. Only a few more corners to go. Seifert will not be taking any unnecessary risks here, I'm sure of it, although there is a little bit of damage on the rear left. What's happened there won't bother him though. Lionel Seifert is going to take the E-plate back. Lionel Seifert wins here at Shenington, takes the 2025 SuperPrix 210 national victory and reclaims the E-plate that he last won 2 years ago. And I bet a bit of a sigh of relief as well as the weather closes in. A brilliant drive from Seifert. Robert Perkins comes home in 2nd place. It's in fact a repeat of the 1-2-3 that we had here in 2023. Seifert from Perkins from Berry. Very good drives from 3 tremendous pilots of their machines. Oh, that's the number 11. We said that Lee Plane in the number 11 had problems out there. There is the scene of Lee Plane pushing his kart back to pit lane. That's a real shame. As I say, Lee Plane was a big part of that race in the opening throws of it. Stuart Henry came home in 4th place ahead of Thomas Stone. Thomas Stone continues the run of being in the top 5 in this race. Jack Perkins 6th was your top novice. Aaron Seifert fell down to 7th in the latter stages of that final. Russell Hopes, Tony Berry and David Smith all in the top 10 there. David Smith the 2nd of the novices home. Neil Hancock, Oliver Shelley, Tom Perkins, William Shelley and Mark Shepherd all in the top 15. Shane Cox 16th. And then our retirements, Ray Sloan, who did get going again after having those problems down at the Wilkins Complex P17. Lee Plane sadly retiring from 2nd place in the race with 7 laps to go, and Anthony Cox had problems at Wilkins as well. Well, the sound quietens down after the 210 Nationals, but more drama to come here at Shenington as we get ready for Miami Water Swift Restricted. Here we go then for Miami Water Swift Restricted, a race kindly backed by James Mills Engineering, apologies, James Mills Engineering and Vega Tyres. And well, the heavens have really started to open now. I imagine we're going to go around for another formation lap here as the grid isn't formed up. Let's take you through that grid before we go any further in this one. As I say, this is an E-plate race as well, so this is a big one for the special plates. Dimitar Uznov, we've already seen him today in the finals. This is his 2nd appearance, starts on pole.
alongside Theo Tyack, Felix Booker and Henry Hales on row 2. Hales has a good record in plate races, won the O-plate in the Mighty Bambino category in 2024. Oliver Kleinfelter and Benjamin Schlivar are on row number 3. It's then Phoenix Millen Sexton and Ollie Brunt on row 4. Louis Wilson and Darcy Dunford, they go from row 5. Ollie West and Travis Giddings go from row 6. It's a 14-strong field completed by Jennifer Banks and Miles Gleave. So this is the youngest category for those across the IAME powered categories. Look at the rain. This is classic Shenington. The heavens have opened here. Anyone who's spent a good amount of time at this circuit knows that it does this. Hope everybody out there is ready for this one. Are we ready for a green flag? Yes, we are. 10 minutes plus 1 lap. Oh my goodness me, there is not a lot of grip out there on the circuit at all. And I think everybody, yes, is on slick tyres. There's been one spinner towards the back of the field. It's Felix Booker. Felix Booker has spun round. The number 78 of Benjamin Schlivar has also had problems in the early stages of this race. So already drama here. The slippery surface flags are out, of course. And for the drivers, this is going to be a real test now. You can see they're all trying to work their front tyres in particular in the early stages of this race. Dimitar Uzanov has broken off the front of the field and is on his way to an early race lead at the end of lap 1. I won't say victory, not in these conditions. This is very, very testing for all of them. It's still quite bright here at the circuit, so hopefully this is just another one of these quick showers that will come through in a matter of minutes. In fact, if I look down to the Wilkins complex, it is blue sky interspersed with the fluffy clouds. It is mainly coming from the other side of the circuit, out beyond the gliding club, where I can see rain falling out of the skies. Let's actually take you through the early standings in this one. So Uzanov leads. Henry Hales has had a good start. Said Henry likes the plate races. Has stepped up into the cadet category for IAME Water Swift Restricted, but had a very good season in 2024 in the electric Bambino category, the Mighty Bambino category. So for the SWRD team, Henry Hales is definitely a driver to keep an eye on there in that number 57 machine. Ollie Brunt there in third, just ahead of Ollie West. And there is a driver I can see out of the commentary box window who's come to a stop. I think it's one of the Tim Wilson Motorsport competitors who has had a problem. Might be Miles Gleave through the Bruno chicane, but they've got going again now. Ollie West up to third. Oh, there's another spin for one of the TWNs just out of Park Corner. Just shows you how tricky these conditions are. Brightening up once again. This could be one of those races where the rain has thrashed its way down in the early before the formation laps of this one. It could even clear up by the time we see the timer tick over to 0 minutes and 0 seconds. There's your race leader, Dimitar Uzanov, looking all right at the moment. 2.5 seconds clear of the battle for second place. Henry Hales and Ollie West. This has been much more like it from Ollie West. Got to say, I was a bit surprised to see West starting as low as 11th on the grid. Ollie West has been having a very solid season in the British Championships. Very clean season as well. It's impressed me a lot across the course of 2025. And here goes Ollie West for second place. This could be a move that puts Evolve Motorsport another step up the podium. And indeed, Ollie West has got the job done. Had to fight to get the karts around the corner there, but that was very, very nicely done by Ollie West. Henry Hales continuing in third place. Will now look to get into a mid-race rhythm and pull away from the rest of the order. Other drivers having a good race. I'll say Travis Giddings is impressing. 6th place now for the driver of the number 44. That's a gain of 6 places from where Travis started. Benjamin Schlivar and Felix Booker also moving forward. Both got past Oliver Kleinfelter and Darcy Dunford in recent moments, up to 7th and 8th places respectively. 5.5 minutes remaining then. Who is going to be claiming that yellow E-plate? Once again, they'll be able to use that for 12 months from this date forward within the Miami Water Swift restricted category. Many drivers wear those plates with pride. It's quite a list of drivers that have had it as well over the last couple of years. Oscar Kenny, Colby Patterson, both drivers who've raced very, very well in Miami karting competition, both at a club level, national level and a continental level. 4 minutes and 50 seconds of this one to go. Change for 6th place, in fact 5th place as well. Benjamin Schlivar there in the green and black machine. He's had a very good couple of laps, has got past Travis Giddings and has now got past Phoenix Millen Sexton. Phoenix, the son of Piers Sexton, of course. Very long established member of the travelling British karting community. Working very hard within his own team as well. Have to keep an eye on Schlivar though. Benjamin Schlivar has had some very good races in recent weeks, particularly in damp and wet conditions. Impressed massively earlier on in the summer at Gladygores for one of the British Championship double headers. Very nearly got a maiden podium. That went down to looking at the pictures on the line. This is the fight for 6th place. Travis Giddings goes through and the blue number 44 machine there past Millen Sexton. That's a nice move out of Wilkins corner. It's a bit of spin. Jennifer Banks has had a bit of a problem on the way down to the Stratford hairpin. Yellow flag was out. I think I saw that Jennifer was out of the kart though, which is the most important news. Looking at just walking back to the marshal post. Fortunately, I think we've lost the number 71 from. Oh, maybe we haven't. No, I don't think that. Maybe a bit premature there. I think the number 71 might be able to get going again here. Marshall just advising of the drivers to keep 2 drivers left, and well done. That's good to see. Jennifer Banks back into this race. We have, unless it's little error on the information here in the box, Miles Gleave in the 17 has stopped though. Miles Gleave not checking through on the timing and scoring at this stage of the race. 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go then. There's your race leader, Dimitar Uzanov, 5.3 seconds clear of Ollie West right now. Louis Wilson directly ahead. He's in 12th place, and you would think he's about to go off the lead lap. Ollie West, 2nd place at the moment. Oh, is that Tyack? Oh, Theo Tyack has gone off the road down at the Wilkins complex. Theo Tyack, who'd had some very strong results in the heats, as Darcy Dunford's had a spin as well. That looks to be down at Stratford hairpin. So, is this a little bit more rain, or is this drivers as the circuit is perhaps drying out? I think it's more the latter. The rain, at least here at the commentary box, looks to have stopped. Can sometimes see this as the track starts to dry out. Drivers can get a bit overconfident, shall we say, and have some problems. Louis Wilson has come into the pits, and I think is stopping for today. It's a good effort there from Louis. Some decent pace into under the 61-second barrier, and has taken 11th place away from Theo Tyack. We saw there half stranded down at the bottom of the circuit. No problems though for Dimitar Uzanov at this stage. 4.7 seconds now the lead, so it is coming down, but not at a worrying rate for our race leader.
Just over a minute to go on the clock. Oh, that should be quite close here as to whether this is going to be penultimate lap or not. We'll update you with that as and when the information comes through. No other changes in the order, so still Uzanov from West, Hales, that would be a 1, 2, 3 at the moment. And all of them looking to pick up some Vega tyre vouchers. There's a spin there for Jennifer Banks down at the Stratford hairpin, just on exit. But Jennifer should be able to rejoin. Kept going once again. But big thanks to John Mills Engineering for their support of this race earlier on. Plenty of categories backed by JM Engineering here today. Is this going to be the last lap? It's very close on the line. No, 1 second to go. So Uzanov will get another lap in here. 2 more. And is in total control here, even in these slippery conditions. Bit more rain coming in, at least from the view there, through Pitts Bend. And once again, into the Bruno chicane. This has been a very accomplished drive from Dimitar Uzanov. Uzanov's done a lot of racing, as mentioned, this year. And the speed is definitely there for this young driver. The consistency starting to come through now as well. Took timed qualifying pole position earlier on in the weekend. Took both heats in Miami Water Swift Restricted. Now we'll see the final lap board. And know that there is just 1,018 metres between Dimitar Uzanov and taking the E-plate. Through Pitts Bend once again. Gap is 4.05 seconds. So again, it's coming down. Ollie West would want this race to carry on for another 6 or 7 laps, but unfortunately for Ollie and Evolve Motorsport, that's not going to be the case here today. You've got to give it to Ollie West, though. This has been a properly good performance. Started 11th on the grid in this race. Benjamin Schliver also is through into 3rd place, so he's said to keep an eye on the youngster for SFR Motorsports. He's been knocking on the door of getting a podium for the last few weeks, and maybe it's going to come here at the Shenington SuperPrix. But Dimitar Uzanov out of the final corner is going to take race victory. Dimitar Uzanov wins the E-plates for 2025. A brilliant performance from this young driver. Dimitar Uzanov wins at the Shenington SuperPrix for 2025 and is joined on the podium by Ollie West, a brilliant drive from 2nd place, and Benjamin Schliver as well from 6th on the grid, gets a very, very well-earned 3rd place. And perhaps that puts right some disappointments from earlier on in the season. Very well done. Henry Hales P4, good drive there from Henry Hales, once again showing his progress as a driver. I'm sure we'll be seeing more great results and even better results from Henry Hales in the near future. Ollie Brunt completed the top 5, good drive there from P8. Travis Giddings as well, one of your biggest movers in that race, up from 12th place on the grid, finishes P6. Phoenix Millen Sexton and Felix Booker in the top 8. Good drive from Booker. Had that problem at the start, fought back into the top 10 ahead of Oliver Kleinfelter and Darcy Durnford, apologies, in the top 10. Theo Tyack, not his final, finishes in P11, but those strong results in the heats do not go unnoticed. Jennifer Banks, P12, Louis Williamson and Miles Gleave complete the runners there in the Miami Water Swift Restricted final. Once again, though, we've got to move on. Next race out on circuit. It's time for Formula Libre.
So already then for the Formula Libre final, sponsored by Tim Wilson Motorsport, with tickets to the IWF Miami Warrior final for 2025 in the Masters category up for grabs in this one. Packed grid, ready to go racing here at Shenington. Do they go? No, they're going to go around again for another formation lap. So we'll quickly rattle through the grid for you for this one. Tell you how they line up after their 2 rounds of heats. Guy Tolley, the driver to beat, on pole position. Alongside on the front row is Chris Diamond. Liv Jenkins on row 2 is joined by Matthew Swanston. It's Archie White and Josh Derry going from row 3. Johan Davis and Ashley White are on row 4. It's Lewis Paynton, who we saw earlier in the historic, starts on row 5 for this one alongside Matt Cardwell. John Luke Bowey and Matt Venn start on row 6. They're then followed by Ollie Venn and Leon Kingsley Frost on row 7. Pierce Armstrong and Oliver Bourne go from row 8. There are more than that just to run through the rest of the order. Jack Crisp, Reese Masters, Jack Stewart, Laszlo Earl, Christopher Frost, Samantha Seward, Jack Foreman, Stuart Briley, Richard Mallinson, David Davis, Oliver Kearnshaw, Mark Armstrong and Alexander Brown complete a 30-strong field. So the drivers getting heat into their tyres. Slippery conditions, but I do think it has stopped raining out there. I'm sure I'll be told otherwise if any of our camera ops are feeling raindrops on their head. We're ready and racing then for 10 minutes plus 1 lap in the Formula Libre final for the Shenington SuperPrix 2025. There's a spinner in the middle of the pack. It's the number 63 and the 86 who have gone round. That is, of course, Matt Cardwell and Laszlo Earl, who's gone round. So Laszlo Earl not having a good start through that part of Cafe Curve, but at the front of the order it is the number 35 leading in the early stages, Guy Tolley, who's been on good form so far this weekend. He's got attentions though. The number 49 of Chris Diamond started on the outside of row number 1, has held second place in the early stages of this race, but keep an eye out for Matthew Swanston. Swanston, good bit of drive there off the last corner, going for second place down the inside. Lovely stuff there from Matthew Swanston. Gets second place off of his Team Wilson Motorsport teammate. There's problems though for other TWM drivers. I think that was Leon Kingsley Frost off at the first turn. There was another driver involved there. Going back and forth as well in the middle of the pack. The number 69 of John Luke Bowey for the Evolve Motorsport team lost out through Stratford Corner that time around. Great to see a big field here in Formula Libre. Very competitive division, offering an accessible route into the sport. And there goes the 87 of Josh Derry through into third place. So it's still Guy Tolley leading this race, now by 0.8 of a second from Swanston. Derry, Diamond, Jenkins, White. That's the top 6 right now as things stand at the end of the second lap. Josh Derry on the attack here. Oh, there's a moment there between the 84 and the 49. That was Liv Jenkins and Chris Diamond getting into close proximity through the Stratford corner. And unfortunately for Chris Diamond, he's got all the work to do now. Diamond drops to, what's that going to be? I think that's around 12th place that Chris Diamond has fallen down to. So it can often happen in these conditions. A little touch here and there can have quite big consequences. Yes, Diamond has dropped to 10th place, just behind Jack Stewart and Archie White. Just over 7 minutes of this race to go. Guy Tolley leading this race. Winner last year. Looking to become another back-to-back winner of this race. Big point forward there from Johan Davis in the number 17 to Pierce Armstrong in the 16. There's a driver off there just on the exit of the Bruno chicane. Apologies, didn't quite catch who that was. Diamond now starting to recover. He's got back ahead of Jack Stewart there for what will be 9th place. But look how much the field has spread out ahead of him. Apologies for 7th place, a little bit higher up the order. But again, top 6. Good pace from all of them. They are rather spread out now. And whilst you lose the slipstream here at Shenington, it can be it's very difficult to break away. Stewart has a look down the inside of Diamond there once again. Diamond points forward to say we need to work together to close into Lewis Payton in the number 73. It's the number 21 of Archie White who was having problems earlier on. So Archie White has dropped to 14th place last time around. So that's a loss of 6 positions. But White's still continuing on. So Diamond will be looking for Stewart to work with him at this stage. The gap up to Lewis Payton is, what's that, around 1.8 seconds. Can be done if 2 drivers work together, but racing across a gap here, to use one of those cycling analogies, very, very difficult round Shenington. Such is the power of the slipstream. If you've got it, can be worth a good couple of tenths, even in these conditions where things are a little bit slower out of the corners. Still pretty quick along the straights. Developing situation for the race lead though. Guy Tolley has been caught by Matthew Swanston. I've seen Matthew Swanston have some good pace already in this race and good eye for an overtake. So this one going into its second act, as it were, with the reigning Shenington SuperPrix winner for this category under a bit of pressure here. Driver, I think, out of their carts, walking to the marshal post. Might be, well, Matt Venn is already out of this race. I think Jack Foreman's falling down the order as well. One tactic that could be available to Guy Tolley here is to defend a little bit, not too much, as yes, there is the number 98. I thought I saw one of the novices was out of this race, and yes, it is unfortunately Jack Foreman, who will go no further than lap number 6 on this occasion. It's wonder for Tolley whether defence by numbers is a good strategy here. Derry, Swanston, Jenkins, 4 drivers, only 3 places on the podium, of course. Into the Bruno chicane once again. Looking very calm at the moment is your race leader. Through into Wilkins once again. Not feeling the need at the moment to go too defensive into one of the big braking zones. The weather will be playing a role into that, of course. Got to be very brave on the brakes at the best of times. Oh, but Swanston and Derry having a little look there. Derry having a moment side by side with Guy Tolley. And Derry really putting the race leader under a lot of pressure. Has got down the inside into the Stratford hairpin. Tolley out on the curb. Will get the exit speed and hold on to the lead. But Guy Tolley under a lot of pressure here from Derry and Swanston and Liv Jenkins there as well. Jenkins currently the fastest driver on circuit with a 49.7. Is there a route down the inside here for Derry? Gets his nose ahead. Oh, and onto the curb goes Guy Tolley. It's all gone wrong for the reigning race winner from last year. In a moment, finds himself now down in 4th place. New race leader, Josh Derry, now takes over as the chase runs a little bit wide, runs out onto the white line there that just denotes pit exit. This could be a chance for Swanston. Swanston takes it down the inside, takes the race lead, and Jenkins is now through. Liv Jenkins through into 2nd place, and all of this is good news for Ashley White there in the number 33. It is now a 5-kart battle for the race lead.
And with 1 minute and 45 seconds to go, this Formula Libre final has absolutely come alive here. And it could be anybody's game now between this point and the end of the race. Who else is moving up the order? Chris Diamond has caught Lewis Paynton and is up into 6th place. That's a tremendous effort from Chris Diamond. So Diamond and Stewart have been able to work together to close in the next driver up the road. But the gap they've got to this quintet as White looks down the inside of Tolley. Tolley's down to 5th place now. This is a bit of a surprise, I must say, for Guy Tolley, but he's still got a good amount of time to play with and potentially move himself back up towards the front of the order. The question is, has he got the pace? These are not easy conditions to get your machinery, to get your kart set up for. As Jakins looks down the inside, we have another new race leader. Liv Jakins takes 1st position. The very clean move there through into Wilkins. Now is under investigation earlier on in the race. I wonder if that's for the moment with Chris Diamond that we saw that relegated Diamond down and outside of the top 10. Through has gone Josh Derry as well into 2nd place. Josh Derry doing a really good job here, in my view, in terms of managing track position. Never letting himself get too far down the order. Out of the Bruno chicane. Reckon, yep, we're going to have time out on this one. So there'll be one more lap to decide who's going to be the winner of that IWF Masters ticket out to Valencia at the end of the year, and who is going to take victory for the Shenington SuperPrix 2025. Jacobs has got a good advantage going on to the last lap. It's about half a second over Josh Derry, but we've seen Josh Derry be very, very quick down into the Stratford hairpin. That time, though, I think Derry was a bit wide. Yeah, has to take a very subtle defensive line ahead of Swanston to hold on to 2nd place. That could be a key moment in this race. How much does Josh Derry throw into this in these slippery conditions? Jakins counting down the corners now into Wilkins for the final time. It's a simple job to get off of the final corner, and Liv Jakins will win in Formula Libre and take victory at the Shenington SuperPrix in 2025. Jakins wins it by 0.6 of a second from Josh Derry. Derry 2nd 2 years in a row. There's still a very, very good drive there from the privateer. Matthew Swanston comes home in 3rd place. Ashley White, Guy Tolley, Jack Stewart, Chris Diamond, Pierce Armstrong, Johan Davis and Lewis Paynton all come home in the top 10. And it's very, very good stuff indeed. 11th for John Luke Bowey, 12th for Jack Crisp. Ollie Venn in 13th ahead of Oliver Bourne, 14th, top 15 completed by Matt Cardwell. Good recovery there from Cardwell after the early spin. Zach Whelan in 16th ahead of Leon Kingsley Frost, Reese Masters, Alexander Brown and Richard Mallinson all in the top 20. Laszlo Earl in 21st ahead of Stuart Briley, David Davis, Christopher Frost, Oliver Kershaw, Mark Armstrong, Archie White with problems in that race. Very good stuff there from Formula Libre. Now we'll move on though to our next circuit, our next race out on track. It's Junior Rotax. Junior Rotax out on circuit then. This is sure to be a very, very interesting race. A final time, we've already had the B final for these drivers here today. We'll just see if we are ready to go this time around. If we are, no, the lights stay red on our screens. Although no, we've gone green on... No, I think we're going to go around again. Yep, false flags are out. Good. That gives us time to run through the grid then for this one. Oliver Smith on pole position, Stanley Williams on row 1 as well, William Webb and Matthew So on row 2, Ryan Rapini and Harrison Bishop go from row number 3. It's Riley Thatcher and Jack Price forming up row 4 ahead of Jensen Powers and Charlie Benson. Oscar Keane and Blake Southern start on row number 6. They're ahead of Jack Dimbleby and Ethan Cossins on row 7. Parsa Tamasfand and Alex Shepherd go from row 8. It's then Drew Preisner and Findlay Hines on row 9. Ryan Gill and Max Greatrix go from row number 10. It's Louis Marshall and Sebastian Burlington on row 11. Sava Solchenko and Lucy Lovell, they start on row number 12. Eddie Stewart and Daniel Wisniauskas go from 13. Joseph Orton, Logan Hartshorn, Jay Singh, Finley Hans are your last of the drivers who qualified directly into this A final, and then your 4 qualifiers there from the B final. Here we go then. Hold on to your hats, everybody. Junior Rotax's A final is underway as spinner towards the front of the field. The number 84 of Stanley Williams, who started on the front row of the grid. Now, was that a driver error or was he physically encouraged into that one? Either way, the result is one of the front runners in this race is gone. Everybody else had nowhere to go there. So it means that already I think we've lost Lucy Lovell from this race. Yet number 15 is in the tyre barrier. Lucy is okay and out of the kart. But that was a very dramatic start. And I think we have gone, race neutralisation, full course yellow is on our screens, although I don't think that message has got to all of the drivers yet. And we will see this race slow whilst the repairs are done to the rest of the barriers and the track furniture. The race leader, Oliver Smith, has slowed it right down here. As they go past the commentary box window, so I can just see out of the window a few tyre replacements, rearrangements going on. So let's just run through the order at the end of that first lap. So Oliver Smith leads, William Webb second, Ryan Rapini in third place. Blake Southern's had a really good start, up 8 spots to 4th. Jensen Powers, Charlie Benson, Harrison Bishop, Jack Dimbleby, Drew Preisner and Matthew So. That is the top 10 at the moment. And falling in the other direction, Lucy Lovell, as we mentioned, is out of this one. Riley Thatcher got caught out in that start incident as well. Riley lost 24 positions in the early stages. Stanley Williams, as mentioned, down 30 places. What a shame for Stanley Williams, for the Evolution team, after a great run through the heats and through TQ. You never know, there could be a very dramatic 7.5 minutes of this race remaining. Not for Stanley Williams, having started on the front row of the grid, any hopes of being in the top 3 at the end of this one are pretty much extinguished at this stage. So we're still under caution at the moment, still under full course yellow at the moment. Battenberg flags around the circuit. Oliver Smith will be looking for the instructions to potentially get us going very, very soon here. The tyre rearrangements that were happening just below me here in the commentary box, they have been completed in very, very quick time by our hard-working marshals team here at Shenington Kart Racing Club. And indeed, looks like we're going back to green then. 6 minutes and 45 seconds remaining on the clock. Oliver Smith winds it up and looks to go early here. That's a very good restart from Oliver Smith. William Webb there in second place, currently going one better than he did 1 year ago. Ryan Rapini holding in third place. So now the race well and truly begins. After that first lap incident, there was Charlie Benson in the orange and white suit and the green and white helmet. It was one of those moments as a karting commentator where you get made to feel quite old. This
What a growth spurt that Charlie's had since the last time that I had the pleasure of commentating on him racing. And there's a nice move just ahead of him. That's Jensen Powers moving through. And that'll be Powers up to 4th place now. So that was past Blake Allen for that position. Charlie Benson just behind there in 6th. So Smith leads, Webb 2nd, Rapini in 3rd place. Powers now running in 4th. Has been a warning for Oliver Smith. I'm not quite sure at this stage what that is for. Ryan Gill is also under investigation out there. Ryan Gill for Evolve Motorsport, currently running in 9th place. You can see the dry line forming as well at this stage. He's going to make overtaking a bit tricky, I think, for these drivers. Does look like everybody is on slicks. Is absolutely the right tyre choice. There will be some opportunities, I think, through this part of the circuit, especially through Cafe. There's slightly different lines that drivers take. So the dry patch is wider. Here's a good bit of attacking driving from Harrison Bishop. Nice move that on Charlie Benson. Through into 6th place. That's how it's done. That shows again that at Stratford Corner there definitely are opportunities to overtake. Sava Solonchenko there, number 13, getting in amongst it. Meanwhile, change for 2nd place. Through has gone Ryan Rapini. Past William Webb there. William Webb still on course though for back-to-back podiums in the junior Rotax category for the Shenington SuperPrix. It's 3rd behind Harry Freeman and Tobin Alvarez. In 2024, of course. 4 minutes of this race remaining. Who is on the move? I can tell you that Ryan Gill, well, we said that Ryan Gill's moved up the order, up to 9th place. Jack Dimbleby as well, nicely up into the top 10, and Finley Hines, as expected. Bit of a tough weekend for Finley. But can take the solace of being the fastest driver out on circuit at the moment on a 43.83 and now up into the top 10. So Finley Hines for the Coles Racing team is you never know, there could be an outside hope if there's a bit of drama in the latter stages of this race of maybe sneaking onto the podium. Not a lot of time to do it though. 3 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in this one. There is the number 57 of Finley Hines. It's been a pretty good season so far for Coles Racing. Good to see them getting some strong results and rolling back the years in quite a few categories so far in British karting in 2025. This is an almighty scrap going on through the Bruno chicane. I think you've got one of your B final repechage drivers coming through there indeed. Molly Mizzen is up to 22nd place. That's great stuff from Molly, having started 31st. Maybe that knowledge from earlier on. Oh, there's a problem there. Hand in the air for driver number 71. That's Jack Price. So I think, yeah, Jack Price pulling into the pits. Jack Price out of this race. That's a real shame for Jack. We'll go no further than lap number 8. 2.25 minutes to go then. Oliver Smith looking in control of this at the moment. Looking to take the prizes on offer from Jag Rotax and the M Sport Racing team, including a free set of tyres. The number 84 moves up through the order. One of the evolutions there, of course, being Stanley Williams, who we saw having those problems in the early stages, whereas Stanley got back up to 18th place. So still giving it a good old go out there. Unfortunately, I think it's just going to run out of time to really get back part of this battle at the front of the field. This is the squabble over positions in the top 5. In fact, more than the top 5, 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th places. So Webb has got back through. He's pulled Jensen Powers with him and demoted Ryan Rapini down to 4th place, with Blake Southern not too far behind. Rapini back down the inside. Lovely stuff there
Has he got the speed right off of the corner? Jensen Powers is going to have a response into the Bruno chicane. This is good for William Webb, but Rapini's held on. So he could be down to 3 then for third place. William Webb has disappeared up the road now. 45 seconds remaining on the clock. Oliver Smith, meanwhile, doing a brilliant job out front. 2.8 seconds now the gap. As there's another move from Finley Hines. As I say, I tell you what, a podium isn't off the table here for Finley Hines. It's just cleared Jack Dimbleby there for 7th place. Yes, there's not a lot of racing to go in this race, but if it's a big scrap between Powers, Rapini and Southern, and Harrison Bishop there as well, keep an eye on a very quick finish. Oh, there! As that's a clash for 8th place. Jack Dimbleby receiving a lot of carts to the NASA panel there. That may have been Drew Preisner going in the number 99. That's what can happen sometimes through the Bruno chicane. It gets very tight very quickly indeed. Drew Preisner falling down the order now. It's just crossed the line in 13th place, but unfortunately for Jack Dimbleby, that is chances of a top 10 gone here today. Clock has hit 0, but it hit 0 after Oliver Smith completed lap 11. So there will be this one plus one more. Oliver Smith just needs to bring this one home now. Last lap board will be out. Pace has been very, very consistent from Smith in this race. That was a 43.94, only 200th slower than his best in this race. William Webb has got 2nd place, surely sewn up, but 3rd place is still very much up for grabs. Powers, Rapini, Southern. A number of these drivers have come through the Motorsport UK karting pathway, have raced up through Rotax categories, have done some arrive and drive. This is a bit different though, isn't it? This is the Shenington SuperPrix and a chance to finish on the podium at stake. But for Oliver Smith, he's going to come out of the final corner and take a dominant victory here in Junior Rotax. Oliver Smith wins the Shenington SuperPrix race for the Junior Max category in 2025. William Webb goes one better than 2024 and finishes 2nd, and Jensen Powers holds on with a very mature drive there to take 3rd place ahead of Blake Southern and Ryan Rapini. 6th for Harrison Bishop there, and you've got to tip your hat as well to Finley Hines, fastest driver in that final, and a really good drive from 18th on the grid to P7. Came home ahead of Matthew So, Ryan Gill and Alex Shepherd. That was your top 10. Oscar Keane in 11th. Drew Preisner in 12th ahead of Parsa Thomas Fand in 13th. Charlie Benson in 14th is part of a top 15 completed by Jack Dimbleby. Finley Hans, Joseph Ortard, Stanley Williams, Riley Thatcher and Molly Misen all in the top 20. Credit there to Williams, Thatcher and Misen, all of them driving from the back of the field for various reasons. Daniel Wisnauskas in P21 ahead of Josh Feng, another one of the drivers who came through the B final. Ethan Cossins, Eddie Stewart, Logan Hartshawn, Jay Singh, Sebastian Burlington, all finishers at the end of that one, ahead of Louis Marshall, Sava Solonchenko, Archie Lamb, Jack Corser and Max Greatrex. The last of the finishers, Jack Price and Lucy Lovell, did not see the checkered flag. We stick with Rotax though. Let's move over to the seniors. They're next. So, Senior Rotax out next for their final here today, part of the Shenington SuperPrix. This race backed by Jack Dex Racing
and Jag Rotax. Are we ready for a start at the first time of asking? We are counting down. I think we're good. We're racing here for 10 minutes plus 1 lap. Iggy Smith at the front of the order for the start of this one. Harvey Quick alongside on the front row. That's all history already, though, as we head down towards the Stratford hairpin for the first time. 3 wide in the middle of the pack there. Jarek Metter's definitely a driver to keep an eye on in this one. Sam Halle-Hinksman as well. All in that top 5, completed by Daniel Gurney in the early stages of this one. Apologies that we didn't quite have time to get the grid read out for you, but the seniors are up for a very quick start. Very organised start here today. So Smith leads from Quick, Metters, Halle-Hinksman and Gurney. No real changes there in the top 5. Oliver Lomax 6th. Jack Rose had a good start, up 1 spot to 7th ahead of Adam White. Here's a move for second place. It's Metters down the inside of Quick. That's a nice overtake from Jarek Metters. Very experienced driver is Jarek, and that number 53 machine. Would not be a surprise at all to see him find a way through to the front of the order, especially after having a tough start to the weekend. Had problems in time qualifying, but has proven time and time again so far in the heats that there's good race pace in the number 53, and it's in its driver, a driver who has great ability to make overtakes. This is the first time we've really seen the number 53 in the early stages of the races towards the front. Could that be a factor in this one? Meanwhile, fight going on for 6th place. Oliver Lomax in the number 28, the 26 rather than the 28, being Dylan Briley. As you just see on the digital display there, I was about to say the number 54 under investigation, but I don't think we have a number 54 in this race. That was a bold move in the background there. Didn't quite make out who that was going for an overtake. Might have been Jack Rowe, Abby Sanders, Ryan Sayers in that kind of region of the field. Battle for the lead though. 1, 2, 3. Smith, Metters and Quick. Iggy Smith feeling the need. Sorry, the 74 that's under investigation. That makes sense. That's Charlie F. currently running 8th place on the road. Metters. Oh, he's gone for the lead. Brilliant stuff from Jarek Metters. I just thought there whether Metters was going to get caught in 2 minds because he had Harvey Quick right on his rear bumper. He decided to go for it. Iggy Smith was compliant. Oh, not so compliant there was Smith. Tried to counter-attack into Cafe Corner. That could give Quick the opportunity now to go through. Not this time, though. There's Halle-Hinksman there in 4th place. It's been a really, really aggressive but good start to this race in Senior Max. 6.5 minutes remaining. Jarek Metters, though, very tall driver, as you can quite clearly see on your cameras at home. That'll be good for the drivers behind. They'll be getting a big slipstream behind the number 53. Smith just steps to the inside. Defensive move. Oh, but leaves the door open through Cafe. Harvey Quick, how about that? Boldly down the inside, takes that position away, and it's still not done here, as here comes Halle-Hinksman to 2nd place. Iggy Smith back underneath. Brilliant scrap for 2nd spot, as Adam White's now part of this group. Jarek Metters is coming through. Oh, that gets a little bit too close through the Bruno chicane. Adam White moves up to 3rd place, but that was a little bit too close quarters. A bit of racing into the Bruno chicane. Number 26 of Oliver Lomax is now involved. Lomax started this lap in 6th place and has now moved up to 4th. So once again, top 2, similar to what we were talking about in the juniors, top 2 have broken away. The biggest scrap looks like it's going to be for 3rd on this occasion. Oh, Daniel Gurney down the inside, makes contact there with Sam Halle-Hinksman, and they're both out of this race.
Looked like the rear axle just went on Gurney there, and that was an unfortunate incident. I don't think there was any intent in that one from my perspective, but sadly, both of them out of contention. Hal Hinksman puts his hand in the air there to ask, what was that? What happened there? And Daniel Gurney will get back in the kart and hopefully be able to bring that one home. And that's two of our runners for that third place out of the picture now. I think it delayed a few others out there as well, the likes of F. Grave and Dylan Briley as well. Just over 4 minutes remaining in this one. Not done for the battle for the lead yet. Iggy Smith had to ride those rough waves a few laps ago, but did so very, very well indeed. And for the Jack Dex Racing team, backers of this race in terms of the sponsorship, team boss Jack Dex himself out at Le Mans this weekend, of course, for the RMC International Trophy. Right now, one of his drivers is looking to take the lead here at Shenington. Smith down the inside, Meta's not giving it up at all. They both run a little bit wide. Adam White's going to be on the scene. Adam White, nearly through there into second place. Well, that was two drivers going full send into the Bruno chicane. That's a really clever little move by Adam White down the inside. Retakes second place away from Iggy Smith. And Adam White all of a sudden is thinking, could he win this race? Could he take it to the drivers who, started 3 rows ahead of him right at the beginning of this race? It's been good stuff from Adam White to work his way up through the order. Jarek Metters getting back into a rhythm though. That was a big attack that came in from Iggy Smith. I've got to say as well, with the amount of time that was lost, don't count out Harvey Quick as well. The R1 racing team took nearly 2 seconds out of the race leaders last time around. That's how hard Metters and Smith went wheel to wheel a few moments ago. Sun peeking through the clouds here at Shenington. There is a yellow flag out at Marshall Post 7, which is down at the Bruno chicane. So I wonder if someone's just had a bit of an issue coming out and towards Hanger Corner. Nothing through that part of the circuit. Yes, I can see the number 15 of Matthias Zawodny has unfortunately tumbled down the order. So I think for Zawodny, that is the day done. Yeah, you can just see on the hanger straight there in the back of shot, that is a number 15 that is decided to expire early on this occasion in this senior Rotax Max final. Still not done here in this battle for second place. White responds back down the inside of Iggy Smith, and Iggy Smith not too happy about that one. Harvey Quick back on the scene in the number 14. 1 minute and 20 seconds to go. This is good news though if you're Jarek Metters. Jarek is running away with this right now. Look at that gap, now over a second. These three have got to get themselves organised. If they want to win this race, if they want to take that free set of tyres, that's the prize for this race victory. They've got to get themselves organised now. No, they're going to keep fighting for second place here. Back down the inside goes Iggy Smith. And Harvey Quick back up to third place. I thought for a moment there that both White and Smith were heading for the tyres on driver's left. They managed to just get on the anchors quick enough to stop that from happening. But for Harvey Quick, he will not have an easier overtake this season than what he just experienced there. And he's not done yet. He could still take second place here from Iggy Smith. 20 seconds remaining on the clock, so this will be the penultimate lap of the race. It's looking a little bit further down the order. Really good drive to note from Ryan Sayers. Sayers up to 7th place. Started this race 16th. and has the fastest lap so far for the Vantage team. Number 23. That's good work there from Ryan. Past the likes of Jack Rowe and Dylan Briley across the course of this race. Abby Sanders as well is up into the top 10. Final lap board then for Jarek Metters. Can look over his shoulder and see a near 2-second gap because Harvey Quick and Iggy Smith are going wheel to wheel once again for the second spot on the podium. And if you're Adam White or even Charlie F. Grave, you're not going to give up a chance of being in that presentation later on this evening. Harvey Quick holds on to second place, but I just feel this is going to be a bit of a dramatic finish by the time they get down to Wilkins. Not for this young driver though. Jarek Metters has taken this race by storm and is going to win in Senior Rotax. Jarek Metters wins the Shenington SuperPrix in Senior Rotax for 2025, and it's Iggy Smith who takes second place ahead of Harvey Quick. Drivers definitely having a little bit of a discussion with one another there as they head into Parc Ferme, but it's Metters from Smith from Quick as, oh dear, there's a bit of a problem there for Louis Judd in the number 43. Oh, I think there has. And, well, we well know in modern day karting, there, that may be a drop down on the number 43 right at the end there, if it hadn't done so before. But no problems for Jarek Metters. A very nice drive there to take victory in the A final for the senior max category, winning in the end by 2.5 seconds ahead of Iggy Smith, Harvey Quick, Adam White, Charlie F. Grave, Ryan Sayers. Sayers got to be one of your biggest movers in that race, up 10 spots to 6th. Jack Rowe 7th, Dylan Briley 8th, Oliver Lomax and Abby Sanders all in the top 10. Louis Judd, Gregory Davis, Sam Halhinksman, Daniel Gurney, Jaskaran Null and Matthias Jarobny completing the 16 runners there in Senior Rotax. We now switch our attention back to the IAMI categories. That's the Rotax categories done. 3 races to go here at Shenington this afternoon, and the next phase gets ready for IAMI Water Swift. So, IAMI Water Swift, sponsored by John Mills Engineering and the Jade Karts organisation. This is a big one. An E-plate. Tickets to the IAMI Warrior Final for 2025. Who is going to be on top in this one? 10 minutes plus 1 lap is underway, and it's a great start for the number 82 of Henry Clark. From pole position, has got a really good run through the early stages of this race. Down towards the Stratford hairpin for the first time. Chester Fawkes has had a strong start in this one as well. Chester Fawkes, who had a very good season here and his club racing as part of the Shenington Kart Racing Club season. One of the drivers who's moved up to the intermediate, the inter category for 2025. Had a tough weekend last weekend at the British Championships, but this is going to be a good race. Just feel it. This is going to be a competitive one from start to finish. So Clark and Fawkes lead the early stages. Philip Patter, a really good run through the heats for the driver, the number 14, is in 3rd. William Crombie in 4th. Big change up for William this weekend. Was racing in the Mighty Cadet Cup last weekend at PF International in the electric karting scene. Is 4th. Seth Angus in 5th. James Roots in 6th place ahead of William Haynes, Alessandro Salas, George Greaves, Harry Chapman. Chapman moving up, of course, to the IAMI Water Swift category. He's raced so far this season in the IAMI Water Swift restricted category. He's looking to develop skills there. It's P10. Harry Fable, Hugo Williamson Logan Baker and Platten Sultan all in this race. But good early pace from Clark and from Fawkes. Two drivers who know each other very well. Down into the Stratford hairpin. And you will notice that the two of them have got different liveries on their machines. But they are effectively running out of the same organisation. The bright green and white of the OMS racing team, now of course being run by former world champion Danny Curl, and Chester Fawkes has recently moved into that organisation as well. Is backed by the Argenti Motorsport organisation and one of their Alliance Academy drivers in 2025. So this is not a surprise to me that we see Clark and Fawkes working together at this stage. They're doing a very good job of it. 1.5 seconds is the advantage over Philippe Pattereau in third place there. James Roots is through to fourth, and could that be third for Roots? Yes, it is. James Roots down the inside takes that position. That's nicely done from James Roots. My good friend Henry Baudet would say, the Roots are on fire. Good stuff there, and is now onto the podium. Will now hopefully try and set a bit of a pace for this second group to close down Clark and Fawkes. Maybe will be helped by William Crombie. Crombie, nice move there, up to fourth place. Pattereau still in the top five though. Could be on for a very strong result here today. 6.5 minutes remaining then. What's the pace looking like? Well, for the two leaders, 48.3s. For those behind, 48.8. This lap will be very, very key in telling. Oh, that's a little bit too much speed for Seth Angus down into the hairpin. That was all in the battle for sixth place with Salas and Chapman. I can imagine that grip is still at a bit of a premium at the moment down into that far corner of the circuit. A lot of rain in that part of the course earlier on this afternoon. Indeed, Angus has dropped down to ninth place. There's a good scrap for sixth place. Alessandro Salas and Harry Chapman. Chapman, the inputting, of course, in the privateer efforts with his dad Michael, and doing some good things here in the early stages of their time in Miami Water Swift. Change there between Crombie and Pattereau. Good to see Pattereau going on the attack, going back up into fourth place. One of a number of drivers for the Jade Racing team in this category. It's really good to be in their awning earlier and just look at the number of new drivers, new talents coming through. It's one of the busiest weekends of the year for the Jade Racing team. Chapman through and into sixth place there. A bright yellow and black machine ahead of Alessandro Salas. So 5 minutes to go in this one. Still no change at the front. Still Clark and Fawkes working away at the front of the field. They're in the mid-48s right now. Their pace is being matched, though, by Roots and Pattereau. So for that reason, I would expect Clark and Fawkes to hold this formation, at least for a couple more minutes. 2 seconds we've already seen in other races today is a span of time that can disappear very, very quickly here at Shenington, should drivers have a bit of a battle out on track. Chapman and Salas now working together, trying to close in on William Crombie just ahead. And with that kind of pace they will do. 48.7 for Chapman last time around, 49.0 for William Crombie. And that's what we mean about the slipstream here, being worth 2 to 3 tenths in my book. It's not that William Crombie's driving slowly, not at all, and he's not got a toe, and he's not got someone pushing him behind either. He's got to do all the work himself. These two here, Chapman and Salas, they can work together, give each other little bump drafts here and there, particularly on the long straights, and that's where you start seeing the time being chipped away. Similar work being done here by Roots and Pattereau. They won't fight yet. If they fight, they can kiss goodbye to any chances of winning this race. So of course, it's another one of the races where an E-plate is up for grabs. And the right and honour to use that plate for 12 months. Given that there's quite a few drivers who I reckon will be still in Miami Water Swift in 2026. This is a race that means a lot to the competitors out on track. Roots and Patero again, continuing to pace themselves in the mid 48s. At the moment, they are losing a touch of a gap to Clark and Fawkes, because those two are back into the 48.3s. I've done so again. This is very good, consistent pace from the front two. Change for fifth. Harry Chapman through past William Crombie. Oh, Crombie has a go back down the inside. Two drivers very much at different stages of their racing careers. Chapman, only 9 years of age. Crombie a few years older. The great platform of this Miami Water Swift category does give them the opportunity to race once against one another. And through has gone Chapman into fifth place. Salas as well has followed through. So Alessandro Salas, the moment's quite happy to follow Harry Chapman. There you go. There's a little nudge there from Salas. All just trying to incrementally edge up to the next group ahead. Perhaps these three could work together. That might be actually be quite a good order for them to run in. Chapman, Salas and Crombie. Because, say, Crombie's had some speed in this race. He's just not really had anyone to help him and push him along. Contact warning has just come in for the driver in second place, Chester Fawkes. But just a warning at this stage, nothing more than that. William Crombie is under investigation for something earlier on in the race, we should just note. There go your two leaders, Clark and Fawkes, 3.5 seconds further back. Roots and Patero. These two drivers as well will be aware of that chasing trio behind. They, similar to Clark and Fawkes, they can't afford to battle too soon. Otherwise, this two-car battle for the last spot on the podium. And again, just remind, one of those tickets for IWF 2025 at stake. That's quite a big prize to be fighting for. You don't want to let that slip between your fingers. Having said that, though, surely the battles are going to come soon. 40 seconds to go. Henry Clark continues to lead this race, with Chester Fawkes there in second place. Into Wilkins for not quite the penultimate time yet. There'll be another lap here on the clock with around 15 seconds to go as they cross the line. Henry Clark, even though they've got some worn tyres now, needs to refine that pace we saw in timed qualifying yesterday and early on in the weekend. It's had a good bit. Oh, as here goes Fawkes down the inside. So Fawkes makes the move. It's not going to quite work this time around. Clark's going to draw alongside. Clark will have the inside line for the next corner. Fawkes is going to have to go around the outside. No, not on this occasion. Falls back into line in second place. But that's an interesting move from Chester Fawkes. That's come, I'll be honest, that's come earlier than I expected. They're going to see the final lap board in a few moments' time. Henry Clark will be aware now that Chester Fawkes can make a move down into the Stratford hairpin. Through the first couple of corners on this last lap. E-plate on the line. Tickets to IWF 2025 on the line. And to join the list of names who have been Shenington SuperPrix winners on the line. Fawkes trying, that's really well covered by Henry Clark. He saw Fawkes trying to do the switchback there. Took his pace off in the middle of the corner, but here goes Fawkes to the Bruno chicane. Oh, wheel to wheel, out onto the curb goes Henry Clark. Fawkes is going to take the race lead. Clark threw everything in there. Chester Fawkes has the race lead into Wilkins for the final time. Out of the final corner, Chester Fawkes is going to take first position here in Miami Water Swift. Chester Fawkes wins the E-plate. Chester Fawkes goes onto the Roll of Honour here at the Shenington SuperPrix. What a race, very tight all the way to the end. Clark comes home in second. James Roots completes the podium there in third ahead of Philip Patero. Great drive there from Patero to P4. Harry Chapman can be proud there of that fifth place ahead of William Crombie and Alessandro Salas. Seth Angus recovers to 8th place ahead of William Haynes, and Harry Fable completes the top 10 in that final result, which of course is provisional at this stage. Logan Baker in 11th place ahead of Hugo Williamson. George Greaves and Platten Sultan complete the 14 runners who started the Miami Water Swift Inter final, and they all finished as well. But well done to Chester Forks, who takes another race victory. We've got to move on though. We go up a step now in the categories, so we switch to X30 Junior. So ready for another final then. This is the X30 Junior final, and once again plenty on the line for this one. The E-plate for 2025 in this race, backed by John Mills Engineering. Another flurry of IWF tickets, as no, we don't go round. Well, we do go round again. We do have time then for our grid run through. Let's introduce you to the drivers who we're going to be talking about for the next 10 minutes. Millen Tomlinson on pole position alongside a very in-form Mayan Patel. Oliver Meek and Katie Donaldson form at row 2. Zach McDonald, star of F1 Kids, is on the track today on row 3 and is joined by Jack Wish. Row 4, Milo Manderson and Jacob Marples. James Backworth and Adam Turacek on row 5. Louis Barker and Brandon Edwards start on row 6. It's then Finley Allen and Max Wright on row 7. Max Endicott could be a driver to watch out for from row 8. Is joined by Sebastian G. Sava Solonchenko back out again. He's on row 9 and joined by Alfie Taylor. Wrapping out the top 20, it's Lewis Hay and Conrad Barton. Alfie Fulton, Lemar Chigarimbo, John Seward, Tom Fox, Bailey Brooker, Lucas Murray, Charlie Phillip, Joseph Buckley, Jack Baker, all completing this field. Away we go then for 10 minutes plus 1 lap. This is going to be a frantic race. Millen Tomlinson leads in the early stages from Mayan Patel. Patel, who took his debut, his maiden win in the British Championships less than a week ago. By a couple of hours, of course. It pretty much was 7 days ago for Mayan Patel. Good early starts for this field of X30 juniors. They've kept it clean through the first couple of corners. Down into Wilkins for the first time. McDonald was a bit wide there, and that allowed Katie Donaldson to step down the inside and go through into 4th place. That was good stuff from Katie Donaldson, another one of the many Jade Racing Team drivers in this one. So it looks like we've got everyone running. Good to see. No incidents on that first lap. Tomlinson leads from Patel. Oliver Meek solidly there in 3rd at the moment, ahead of Donaldson, McDonald, Manderson, Wish, Turacek, Backworth and Max Endicott up to 10th place. Max Endicott, who had problems earlier on in the weekend. As there's a change of the lead, and there's an incident down at the Bruno chicane. The number 74 of Sebastian G was in the middle of all of that. But a change for the lead has seen Mayan Patel 7 days on from his win at PF International. Now going for the E-plate. Now going for the win at the Shenington SuperPrix. But who else did we have involved in that incident at the Bruno chicane? I think we've lost Brandon Edwards and Alfie Taylor from the mix there. Those 3 drivers are all off the back of the field on the timing. But a bold move there from Mayan Patel. His overtaking last week was absolutely on point. It was a very, very impressive drive for the MDL Motorsport team. Now can Mayan Patel do it again? Getting a win like that is a big thing, of course, but if it does one thing to a driver, it marks them out amongst all the other drivers in this category. Katie Donaldson having a fight there with Zach McDonald. That's for 4th place, and through comes Milo Manderson as well. Manderson up to P5. That's a good scrap going on, but at the moment it is dropping them out of contention for some podium positions. Look at the gap between Tomlinson there in 3rd place and Donaldson now up to 4th. Switch to the inside by Milo Manderson. Lovely stuff, and there's Max Endicott. Max Endicott has already found his way through to 5th place. Max Endicott, one of the favourites for this race before the start of the weekend. As I say, he has had problems, but has had some very, very good races, and particularly finals in 2025 so far, both here in the UK and over in Europe. There's been another change for the lead. Oliver Meek has got through past Mayan Patel and gone to the front of the order. Didn't quite see how that happened. And, well, still plenty of time to go as here goes Patel through into the lead once again, assisted perhaps by Tomlinson. Very brave overtake again from Mayan Patel. You've got to go for it. If you're going to make the move in Hanger Corner, you've got to be fully committed. You've also got to have someone quite compliant on the outside. So that was good driving from Oliver Meek, who holds 3rd place. And I tell you what, that chasing group is closing in. Endicott, 4th place, as Tomlinson looks to the outside, looking for a switchback through Stratford. Well, this one is properly coming to the boil with 6 minutes to go. We saw an absolutely stunning final 7 days ago at PF International involving a number of these drivers in the British Championships. Are we about to see another one here at the Shenington SuperPrix for 2025? Patel checks over the shoulder, having to defend a little bit here from Milan Tomlinson. And you've got to say, Max Endicott is doing a brilliant job here at the front of that chase group. He is turning the pace up several notches here. Patel now feeling the need to defend, and look at the group. It's no longer a top 3 fighting for the lead. It's a group of 7 all the way back to Katie Donaldson there in the number 77 machine. And if they keep like this, it's going to bring more into play. It's going to bring Adam Turacek into play. It's going to bring Jack Wish into play. This is a different test now for Mayan Patel. Less than 5 minutes to go on the clock. Tomlinson not able to find a way through there in the first couple of corners. Who's going to be the bravest? Who's going to make their mark first? Down the inside, Endicott, I think that was half in defence really, as Milo Manderson unfortunately shuffled down the order. Zach McDonald with the instructions there, pointing through, looking to move further up the field. And remember, there are IWF 2025 tickets on offer here, as there's a move from Oliver Meek down the inside. Oh, as Milan Tomlinson finds himself on the curb, and Milan Tomlinson is going to fall down the order now. Falls from 2nd place, I think down to around 8th, maybe 9th place there. That was really not a good moment for Milan Tomlinson. Tough racing once again here in X30 Junior. Through the Stratford hairpin. That's a good response from Tomlinson. Okay, he's not fallen quite as far down. He's going wheel to wheel with Zach McDonald. That's over 6th place. He's got to get back in a rhythm, to get back in amongst it for those podium positions. You can tell this race means so much to these drivers. Bit deep there from Oliver Meek. Max Endicott now up into the podium positions. What a drive this has been for the BMR Restart team. Katie Donaldson has gone with the leaders as well. So it's a top 4 now fighting over the 3 podium positions. Here goes Endicott down the inside on Oliver Meek. Donaldson trying to follow through as well, wheel to wheel with Oliver Meek off of the Stratford corner. They're going to be side by side. No, not quite. Quite sensible there for me from Katie Donaldson. She just pulled out of that one. Just think, no, let's wait. We've still got the best part of 3 minutes on the clock here. Need to keep ourselves part of the race for that move though. Oh, Donaldson down the inside. will get at least one place, maybe no. Out wide, back comes Meek. They're all waving arms at one another here as Meek goes back into second place. Endicott reforms there in third place. This is great though for Mayan Patel. Mayan Patel, after a few laps ago, being under an enormous amount of pressure, has now got a lead, probably over a second. Contact warning for the number 88 of Max Endicott. One has come in for Katie Donaldson as well, so that's a bit of a wag of the finger from the race officials. Understandable in the circumstances. 2 minutes to go. Patel's lead, as I say, I reckon it's going to be about a second, if not more, at the end of this lap. Yep, 1.12 seconds from Meek and Endicott. Donaldson has dropped back now. So really it's over to Meek and Endicott to work together for this next lap to see what can they do. No, Endicott's going to go down the inside. Endicott wants to take the initiative in this one. Taps his helmet, says let's go forward. Let's go get the race leader. Through the Bruno chicane once again, looking a little bit further down the order. Who's making good progress? Jack Baker is making good progress. Has gained 14 positions in this race and is now up into the top 15. Adam Turacek as well has gained a spot, is up to P9. Max Wright also in the top 15 has improved across the course of this race. Manderson down the inside there. Fourth place now for Marlo Manderson. Started this race in 7th place. This has been a really good race. It has not stopped. It's as no point has calmed down from the lights going out. Tomlinson was through there. Tomlinson's back into 5th place. And we still don't know because those drivers, 2nd and 3rd, are chipping away at the lead for Mayan Patel. Milo Manderson drops to 5th place now as back once again comes Millen Tomlinson, who surely is regretting that moment on the curbs out of Wilkins a few laps ago. It's going to be 2 more laps of this one. That was a quick lap though from Tomlinson. Tomlinson's not out of this. Tomlinson is not out of this for a podium. That was a 43.48, even though there was a bit of overtaking going on for Tomlinson on that tour of the circuit. Don't think Oliver Meek's got the pace to live with Max Endicott here today. It is the top 2 who I thought would be the favourites before the start of this weekend. But the question is, who is going to lead in a lap's time? Mayan Patel sees the last lap board. The gap is 9/10 of a second. Max Endicott, if he's going to take the E-plate, if he's going to win the Shenington SuperPrix, needs to have one of the biggest laps that he's had in his 2025 karting season. It's all going on once again behind them as through comes Katie Donaldson, back ahead of Tomlinson. That's all for 4th place. Surely that's the top 3 locked out now. The question is, what order are they going to be in? Patel has got through the Bruno chicane 7 days ago. He took a breakthrough victory at PF International. Here at Shenington in the SuperPrix for 2025, Mayan Patel wins the E-plate, becomes English champion. What a drive from Mayan Patel under enormous pressure earlier on in this race. And it's 2 Sundays in a row where Mayan Patel is a race winner in X30 Junior. Max Endicott, a brilliant 2nd place from 15th on the grid. Oliver Meek completes the podium, holding resolutely there in 3rd place. Brilliant drives by all. MDL Motorsport take the team honours ahead of BMR and the Croc Promotion team as well. And a really, really good race. Race of the day so far, if you ask me. 4th place for Milo Manderson, 5th for Millen Tomlinson, 6th for Katie Donaldson, Zach McDonald, Adam Turacek, Jack Wish and James Backworth, all in the top 10. They can all be proud of those drives. Louis Barker, Max Wright, Jacob Marples, Lewis Hay and Jack Baker, all in the top 15. Baker, your biggest mover in that race, up 14 places from 29th on the grid. Lemar Chigarimbo
in 16th place ahead of Tom Fox. Sava Solenchenko, Rashid Abdullah and Conrad Barton all in the top 20. Unfortunately, we've got to cut short there because we're already ready for our final race of the day. It's X30 Senior. Wow, hasn't time flown? It's our final race of the day. It's Senior X30 for their final. Once again, this is an E-plate race. So this is a big one in the calendar for 2025. Backed once again by John Mills Engineering, and another flurry of IWF tickets up for grabs. We are racing 10 minutes plus 1 lap here in the X30 Senior final. Gabriel Stilp leads us from the front and will hold the early advantage from Alistair Cresswell. Some big drivers in this one, all wanting to take that E-plate and hold it for the next 12 months. All round there, it's gone the number 78 of Laith Khan. Laith Khan relegated down to the bottom of the order. There's a bit of change for the lead. Through goes Cresswell. Oh, off the road as well is Jacob Jukes, and there's more goings on through the Bruno chicane in the second half of the field. So a bit of drama in the early stages of this one, but a bold move there from Alistair Cresswell sees him lead at the end of lap 1. Gabriel Stilp there second, Sam Branston, James Pashley and Lucas Armstrong all in the top 5. Great start for George Quartermain, up 6 spots in the early stage, and keep an eye on Leo Robinson as well. Leo Robinson on his return to karting in the early stages of this one has gained 2 places and is up to 7th place. Going the other way, unfortunately, a number of drivers. Laith Khan, we noted. Jacob Jukes, we noted as well. Ollie Rands, Seth Nurnberger, Harvey Roth of all fallen down the order as there goes Stilp down the inside. No, sorry, yes, it is Stilp through. The 28 through and into the lead of this race. It's the 58 of Branston who's followed into second spot. So it is, confusingly for some, a Croc Promotion 1-2 in the early stages still of this race. Here goes Pashley down the inside. Nice move there from the experienced James Pashley. And Cresswell's going to try and fight back here. But this is a bit of an ominous shape up now for the rest of the field. The Croc boys have got to the front of the field. Gabriel Stilp looking for a big victory here. Didn't have the kind of qualifying he would have wanted, was 5th through timed qualifying. Sam Lewis, who's just moved up to 9th place, was on pole position after those sessions. But again, Gabriel Stilp's race pace has been very good so far this weekend. A race that, of course, this team had some good success in during the past few years. They want to get another driver on the Roll of Honour for this long-standing event. Good pace though from James Pashley at the moment. He's just bringing himself and Ali Cresswell back towards the top 2. So yeah, 46.7 for Stilp, 42.6 for Branston, 42.5s for Pashley and Cresswell. That was an important lap. That was very good from James Pashley to keep this race tight and not let it become a bit of a Croc Promotion domination. Looking further back, you see Tristan Powell is up to 8th place. Another driver who's been having a very impressive season in the British Championships across the course of 2025 so far. Quick reminder as well for those of you at the start at the circuit, don't disappear after the last race here today. We'll have more goings on here at the track with all of the prize presentations in the tent later on once all the results are in. So do stick about for that and help congratulate our winners here today.
The big question right now, though, is which driver or drivers from this X30 Senior final is going to be joining that prize presentation later on today. Is it going to be James Pashley? Because Pashley goes down the inside, takes second place away from Sam Branston. That was a confident move from Pashley. Good to see him back in this kind of form. I say the driver who's been a seeded driver in previous years finished 9th as Cresswell goes through past Branston. So Pashley 9th a couple of years ago in the British Championships, and the level, particularly in these X30 senior categories, so high. Not an easy feat at all to grab one of those seeded plates. Gabe still knows it, just had to defend there into Wilkins. Quick check over the shoulder, 5 minutes to go. Cresswell confirmed as through into 3rd place ahead of Sam Branston. Changes further down the order. Sam Lewis is through past George Quartermain up into 8th place. Zef Nurnberger as well is also back up into the top 20. Almost 2 races going on. Oh, now is that one of the Optimas having a bit of a problem out there on circuit? Didn't quite see who that was. We'll try and capture that in a moment's time. Meanwhile, back at the front of the order, still as he were, still from Pashley, Cresswell and Branston. Leo Robinson now up to 5th place. And this is a good run from Leo Robinson, who's of course has, oh my goodness me, Alistair Cresswell was going through there whether James Pashley liked it or not. That was amazing stuff from Alistair Cresswell. Wheel to wheel, always got a little bit deep now though on the exit of the Stratford hairpin. Still good speed though. I half expected Cresswell to just drop away there from Gabriel Still, but simply wasn't the case. I tell you what, these top 4, they need to keep an eye as down the inside goes Cresswell for the race lead. Stilp's going to find himself off the podium here potentially, as through comes Pashley, Branston as well, and closing in is Leo Robinson. What a return this would be for Leo Robinson. And he's pulling Lucas Armstrong with him as well. This could be another grandstand finish for X30 Senior. Changes again at the front of the field. Cresswell now holding them all off as they run into the Bruno chicane. We were talking about a top 4 battle for the race lead. Scratch that story. I think it goes all the way down to P8 now. Yes, it does. With Sam Lewis right at the back of this train for the Evolve Motorsport team in the teal, green and white colours there. But this being the seniors as well, this could be quite a way to finish the 2025 Shenington SuperPrix. Alistair Cresswell has been tipped by his team to be, oh, it's round the outside. Gabe Still tried to go for the lead. They both went for the same piece of real estate, and Gabriel Still is potentially out now of this race, is out of contention. In a moment, it has all gone wrong for Gabriel Still. Crop Promotion have still got a horse in this race in the shape of Sam Branston. But is that going to be a big moment that we look back on later on this evening? Is that the moment where Gabriel Still's hopes of being this year's E-Plate winner are over? And do you know what? I don't think they are yet. Stilp has fallen to 9th place, but is only a couple of seconds off the back of this group. And if there's more defensive work at the front of the field, it could well be, as Pashley has got back to the front of the order once again, it could well be that Stilp gets back into play as part of this. 90 seconds to go. Can't call this one at the moment. This could be any one of these top 8. As I say, keep an eye on Stilp. Keep an eye on Katie Ashman as well. Katie's having a really good race. Is there in 10th place. Freddie Farrell as well is up from the lower reaches of the grid. Oh, is off the grid. Is that Zef Nurnberger in the number 76? Yes, it is. So Zef Nurnberger's had a tough race, and that looked to be off down at Wilkins Corner. 60 seconds to go. Pashley still leads from Branston, Cresswell, Robinson, Armstrong, Tristan Powell. Tristan Powell now the fastest driver on the circuit. They're in P6. Sam Lewis can't be counted out. Oh, down the inside again goes Cresswell. Just wants to get himself a little bit further up the order. Can see the F4 racer there, Leo Robinson. Actually curtailed his F4 racing for this year. It's great to have him back this weekend in karting. And he's showing once again what he can do. Running in the top 4 at the moment. Branston feels the need to defend, to hold onto that third place. Sam Lewis is coming through. Sam Lewis, the pole sitter from earlier on in the weekend, is now up to P5. This would be a tremendous run for Evolve Motorsport. Sam Lewis has had a good record in this meeting previously. Been on the podium a few years ago in X30 Junior. Final lap board is out. Pashley still leads from Cresswell. These two have already had close moments so far in this race. What is going to happen here down towards the Stratford hairpin? Cresswell's trying to find a way through. He's trying to do the cutback, maybe on the outside into the Bruno chicane. Pashley has dealt with that very well. Branston is still part of this there in P3. Sam Lewis is now up to 4th. Sam Lewis up to 4th place. What a drive this is from the Evolve Motorsport man. Down towards the final corner. Pashley gets it stopped. Has got to get on the loud pedal. Here comes Branston up to 2nd place. But Pashley's going to hold on. James Pashley wins the E-plate in X30 Senior for the Jade Racing team. James Pashley wins the Shenington SuperPrix in X30 Senior. What a way to finish the day, to finish the weekend here. 2nd place to Sam Branston, 3rd to Alistair Cresswell, who was a big part of what was a very entertaining race there to finish the weekend. Sam Lewis perhaps needed just one more lap to get himself fully part of the battle, but a brave drive from the Evolve Motorsport man up to P4. A very good effort as well from Leo Robinson, P5. Great to see him back here this weekend, and hope we get to see more of Leo across the course of the 2025 karting season, because that was really, really good stuff for the Tim Wilson Motorsport team. 6th for Lucas Armstrong, 7th for Gabriel Still. That moment down at the hairpin was the key moment for Gabe Stilp's race. Katie Ashman in P8 ahead of Tristan Powell. And a great drive as well from Freddie Farrell, up from 21st on the grid to P10. Likewise for Cameron Edmonds, who I think was, yes, your biggest mover in that race, up P4, 14 places to P11. Dylan Patel, Daniel Samir, Harry Peers, all in the top 15, completed by Jack Dan. P16 for Jack Spencer, ahead of France's Tony Casagrel there in 17th. Jacob Jukes, Alfie Gallagher and George Hopcraft all in the top 20. George Quartermain in the end was P21 after a bright start, but fell down through the order unfortunately. Dylan Masters P22 ahead of Laith Conner, into the drivers who had problems during that race. Seth Nurnberger P24 ahead of Reese Barber, Ben Cowley, Kieran Barber, Andrew Platt, Ollie Rands, Sebastian Dew and Harvey Roth. Platt, Rands, Dew and Roth all retirements from that race. And with that, we're all done. What a brilliant day's racing here at Shenington. The weather just about turned for us towards the end of the day as well, and we finished with 2 tremendous races, particularly in X30 Junior and X30 Senior. My thanks to all the team here at Shenington Kart Racing Club, to Graham, to Leslie and all the staff here for putting on another fantastic centrepiece to the Shenington karting summer. Big thanks to Alpha Live as well on all of their efforts. Wasn't an easy day at time with the weather out there. If you've enjoyed the coverage, do make sure that you've clicked like and subscribe for more karting here on the Alpha Live YouTube channel. If you've liked the commentary as well, at Andrew Mather Commentary, at @MM across your social media networks. Thank you very much for joining us here today at Shenington for the 2025 Super Prix. We hope to see you again very, very soon. If you're at the circuit, stay around for the trophy and prize presentations. But if you're on your way home, have a very, very safe journey back to wherever you're heading, and we'll see you again very, very soon here at Shenington. Bye-bye.